Chapter 2471, Special Reward, 100 Points of Charm Value. Chapter 2471, Special Reward, 100 Points of Charm Value Super Artifact. This was the first time Long Fei had obtained such an item in the Zhenwu continent. What was the concept of super artifact? Crushing holy artifact. The demon emperor felt a pang of pain, but he did not know what this tombstone was, nor did he know its name. All he knew was that it was a holy artifact with immense power. As for how to unleash its power, he still had not figured it out yet. The demon emperor grinned. "Do you know how to use this item?" Long Fei replied, "I know." Table of contents. Long Fei saw his slightly bitter look and said, "Since you want me to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower, consider this thing as compensation. With this, forget about 10-story Devil Tower. Even if it's 10,000 floors, I will still destroy it greatly." Confidence exploded. The super artifact was too powerful. This quest is really too awesome. I received a super artifact before the quest even started. If it's completed, what will I get? Long Fei became a little excited, but 10-story Devil Tower, one of the 10 great powerhouse 10 people, too little. How much experience would it take to kill a person? 10 million? 100 million? This is too little. Upgrade. There was probably no hope, because right now, Long Fei needed more than 1 billion experience to level up. He wouldn't be able to level up even if he killed 10 people. Is that possible? Right now, Long Fei only hoped that the system's reward would be better. Second stage, arrogant form. One more level would be good. At least, in the God's Sect gathering, he would get stronger. The Demon Emperor laughed. "Brat, don't think that the 10-story Devil Tower is too simple. Do you think that the Magic Tribe's most powerful powerhouse is that easy to deal with? You must know that you are not only dealing with 10-story Devil Tower, but the entire Magic Tribe, including me." Long Fei was startled. F***CK. You are also in the 10-story Devil Tower. Then, what cultivation was the Demon Emperor? A true martial emperor, no matter how strong Long Fei was, he would still not be his match when facing off against him. Then what the heck are you playing at? Wasn't this way too darned? With the Demon Emperor guarding him, he truly had no chance at all. The Demon Emperor said, "I will not appear in the Demon Pagoda, but I will give the 10 tribes all the resources, including your cultivation method, and everything about you." So far, no one has been able to pass the 10-story Devil Tower, and those who have gone and have not come out alive. I hope that you will be able to create a miracle. The Demon Emperor looked at Long Fei and smiled. 10-story Devil Tower. There was a time when he had wanted to enter the strongest trial of the Magic Tribe as well, but he was stopped by the former Demon Emperor, who said that he could not pass it. What's in it? What kind of test would be inside? Even the Demon Emperor himself didn't know. The Demon Emperor faintly said, "Boy, it's up to you. I'll see you in 3 days at Magic Mountain. Let's prepare well." As he spoke, the Demon Emperor looked towards the Princess Sand Moon again. His expression changed slightly as he sent a sound transmission to the idea. "Tell him that if I fail, he will be expelled from the Magic Tribe." Finished. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The Demon Emperor laughed out loud. His body moved, and then he suddenly disappeared. His laughter was already hundreds of miles away, and then it disappeared without a trace. Princess Sand Moon's gaze tensed up as she looked at Long Fei. Kai Lina said, "Are you really going to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower?" Long Fei said, "I should do what I have promised. The 10-story Devil Tower, must give it a try. Not for anyone, just for the mission." Kai Lina did not say much, and said, "All right, I'll go gather some information first." Then, Kai Lina flapped his wings and rose from the ground, disappearing without a trace. She's an intelligence expert now. In these 3 days, she had to figure out who the most powerhouse among the 10-story Devil Tower was, and what the test of the 10-story Devil Tower was. Actually, no one in the magic tribe knew the test of the 10-story Devil Tower. Even the 10 tribes didn't know. They only knew what kind of test his level was. However, this was a secret, and they definitely could not reveal it. Otherwise, 10-story Devil Tower would have no meaning. Transformers said naively, "Boss, why did you choose a broken stone for so many things just now? It's like a tombstone." "How unlucky." Long Fei also did not explain. "In the future, you will know how powerful it is." Princess Sand Moon walked to Long Fei's side and said, "10-story Devil Tower, are you really confident?" Long Fei was silent for a moment before replying truthfully, "No." Princess Sand Moon's gaze tensed up. She wanted to say the outcome of Long Fei's failure. But when the words were about to reach her mouth, she endured it. She did not want to give Long Fei too much pressure. Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "I still don't know the situation inside yet, so I'm naturally not confident, but I will do my best." "Don't worry." Princess Sand Moon forced a smile. It was also at this time. The system sounded out once again. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the escort mission. Reward: 1 million experience, 100,000 true chi points, 10 arrogant god energy value points, and purple spirit blade. Ding. The system has started to score. Do you wish to view it? The mission was always there. The mission of sending the Princess Sand Moon out of the desert was not completed. Even after saving her from Meng Qian's grasp, she was still incomplete. But now that the mission announcement had suddenly rang out, Long Fei's heart was startled. He had thought that he still had to trigger something before he could complete the mission. Check it out. A number appeared on the interface in his mind and continued to climb. Ding. System notification. Player has received SSS Super High Score. Ding. Obtain an advanced score and trigger a special reward. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining charm value plus 100 points. Ding. System notification. Player's charm value is the highest point. Huh. Holy shit, this is the super high score system's reward. Charm value. What the heck is the use of this? Long Fei grumbled in disdain. I don't need charm value to pick up girls. What's the use of having charm value? Long Fei relied on methods. He relied on his domineering aura. Charm? Only a sissy needs charm to attract a gay. He was slightly dissatisfied with the system's special reward this time. Long Fei complained, "What's not good about rewards? What kind of charm value are you trying to reward me for? It's not like I'm going to choose a beauty. Why would a man be so beautiful?" At this moment, Transformers looked at Long Fei curiously. Long Fei stared at him and said, "What are you looking at? Is there a flower on my face?" Transformers gave a silly smile and said, "No, boss. I don't know why, but I suddenly realized that you've become more handsome and I couldn't help but want to get close to you." At this time, Princess Sand Moon looked at Long Fei with an obsessed expression. Chapter 2472, The World of Nantion Monument. Chapter 2472, The World of Nantion Monument, a look of infatuation. Those eyes. It was like a small dog seeing a bone. It wanted to pounce on him and bite him. Long Fei was also stunned. Princess Sand Moon was a person who had self-control and would never have this kind of expression, but right now she was constantly leaning towards Long Fei's side, unable to help herself. Long Fei asked, "Princess, Princess?" Princess Sand Moon still had an infatuated look on her face as she said, "Don't call me Princess. I'm your wife. Call me my wife or Min-Air." That sound so coquettish that it makes one's bones go numb. Long Fei felt goosebumps all over his body. He never knew that a woman's voice could be so coquettish, nor could he imagine that such a voice came from the mouth of a princess Sand Moon. She was the inheritor of the ancient artifact forging, and a man who could wield a hammer of a few thousand pounds. Now she was a soft, soft girl. It's going to come up. The aura on Long Fei's body trembled slightly. Boom! Princess Sand Moon also suddenly awakened as he looked at Long Fei. His face flushed red. Did I do something out of bounds just now? The Transformers laughed. Long Fei glared at him, and the Transformers immediately shut his mouth. You don't know what you just did. Princess Sand Moon's face was flushed red. She did not dare to look straight into Long Fei's eyes, and shook her head. I felt like I was dreaming. Long Fei was depressed. He muttered, "Are charm value that powerful?" Princess Sand Moon glanced at Long Fei for a bit, and said, "I've discovered that you're different from before." Long Fei said, "Where's the difference?" Princess Sand Moon said, "It's even more charming and irresistible charisma. It's uncontrollable and wants to get close to you. It's very fast. It's too weird." She didn't dare to look straight into Long Fei's eyes at all. She was worried that she was going to be lost again. Following that, the Princess Sand Moon said, "There are only 3 days left before you enter the 10-story Devil Tower. You should cultivate properly for these 3 days. I will also prepare a bit for you." After saying that, she hurriedly ran out like a kitten who had been caught stealing food. Furthermore, she covered her face with her hands. She looked extremely adorable when she was in her infatuation. For a young girl, Long Fei watched in a daze. So cute! When Princess Sand Moon walked out of the courtyard, Long Fei suddenly remembered something and said, "Today is our wedding day. We have yet to get married." Transformers said, "Boss, I'll call her back." Long Fei waved his hand and said, "Forget it. This will happen sooner or later anyways. There's no rush." Seeing that the Princess Sand Moon girl was still in love with him, Long Fei laughed mischievously as he thought to himself, "You won't be able to escape from my clutches. Hee hee. All right. You should go train as well." Long Fei urged. Transformers replied, "Oh." Long Fei was the only one left in the courtyard. He no longer bothered with the matters of charm value, but took out the Nantion monument, a tombstone. The tombstone was carved with strange inscriptions. These runes gave Long Fei a special and familiar feeling. This was the reason why Long Fei chose them. Nantion monument, repression of boundary stones. Have I seen it before? Or, I can understand the words on it. Long Fei looked at the runes on the Nantion monument in a daze. Then, Long Fei let out a light breath, and his left hand moved to grab it. Because, during this period of time, Long Fei had used more of his left hand than his right. The instant his left hand held onto the Nantion monument, it was ice cold to the bone. He did not feel anything else, nor did he feel any power from it. All in all, it was just like a very ordinary monolith stone. How strange! Long Fei retracted his hand and thought, "I can't feel even the slightest bit of strength. Could it be that I made a mistake? I can't. The system has already determined that it's a super artifact. How can it not have any power? Or should I say, it has seal on it?" Long Fei was a little confused. There was no way the system would make a mistake, and looking at it, Long Fei felt that it was not a simple item. But now, he could not feel its power. The Nantion monument was a rock. It was a round one, 7 meters long and 15 centimeters thick. It was completely black. The stone was covered in runes, an incomprehensible character. There was a thin layer of chi on the surface. There was nothing else special about it. Long Fei opened up the system once again to check. Item, Nantion monument rank, super artifact description. Repression of boundary stones. Other than these three descriptions, there was no other description. Strength, attribute, nothing at all, not even how to use it. Long Fei was a little depressed. We can't just carry it and hammer it on our shoulders, right? Who? How strange. Long Fei checked the attributes a few times, but the results were all the same. There was no description, and just at this moment, he gently touched it with his right hand. At this moment, buzz. Long Fei's sea of consciousness suddenly exploded. The Nantian monument emitted a strange power, and its bright light illuminated the entire starry sky. An image appeared in Long Fei's mind. Chaos. A muddle-headed world. This place was like the most primitive desert. There was no water, no trees, not even mud. Everything seemed to be empty. What world is this? Long Fei's gaze darkened. In his memories, there had never been such a world. Nothing. Could it be that this is a newly born plane? Long Fei couldn't help but think. On the screen, Long Fei continuously advanced forward. He did not know why, but he felt that this world was extremely familiar to him, and it made him extremely comfortable, as if he was in his mother's embrace. He didn't know how long he walked for. Suddenly, a roar sounded in the sky, as if the sky was splitting apart. Rumble! 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 A baby covered in rainbow-colored scales descended from the sky. It was very clear. He could clearly see that the baby had two thin tentacles on his forehead and a small tail on the bone spike on his buttocks. Very cute. At this moment, the chaotic world suddenly seemed to be alive. The earth split, space distorted, and after a short explosion, the world began to recover with a cry from the baby. Earth, water, mountains, trees, grass. The same thing happened, just like a miracle. It grew out of thin air. Finally, there were all sorts of exotic flowers and herbs, and then animals appeared. Everything was so harmonious, even if a demon beast appeared. It was unknown how many years had passed since the harmonious scene had taken place. Suddenly, the sky darkened again and split open once more. A huge rock fell from the sky and heavily crashed into the ground. At the same time, the vanishing baby reappeared, but he was no longer an infant, but a dragon, a true dragon king, whom Long Fei had never seen before. Furthermore, a scene that made Long Fei's pupils shrink suddenly appeared. After the dragon took form, it transformed into a human body. That person, it was actually him. Chapter 2473, The Legendary, That Man. Chapter 2473, The Legendary, That Man, terrifying, extremely terrifying. It was like a terrifying novel. At that moment, Long Fei's mind trembled and was unable to control himself. At the same time, that true Dragon King began to roar, twisting. The whole world was trembling, the beasts were roaring, and everything in the world seemed to be begging. At this moment, this dragon was a god, a ruler. Everything in the world was born because of him. His anger frightened the world. However, at this moment, rumble! That huge stone suddenly soared up into the sky, and then suddenly fell down heavily, directly bombarding the head of that true Dragon King. Rumble! With a loud bang, everything returned to normal. At this moment, the scene suddenly stopped, and Long Fei suddenly gasped, his mind coming out from the image. His face was pale, and his entire body was drenched. The scene just now was too terrifying. Regardless of the birth of the world, that king of true dragons, and the suppression by that gigantic boulder at the very back made Long Fei feel an endless sense of oppression. What made him even more shocked was that the human form of the true dragon was exactly the same as his. Why is that? Fear rose in Long Fei's heart, and he said, "Could it be my previous life?" Shouldn't I be a otaku on Earth in my previous life? His previous life. That's impossible, right? Long Fei had awakened all the memories on Earth. The memories of his birth were especially clear to him. Surrounded by a large group of powerhouse, there was even an alien creature that planted an AI game system in his body. How could he be the dragon? Why does it look the same as mine? Or does it look the same no matter who goes in? Long Fei muttered and looked at the Nantian monument once again. Looking at its shape and the shape of the Nantian monument dropping from the sky, his heart trembled. This can't be the rock that suppressed the king of true dragons, right? F*CK. Then this thing is awesome. If it can even suppress a dragon, then using it to knock over a 10-story devil tower should be a piece of cake, right? Long Fei thought happily. He did not think too much about the scene inside the Nantian Monument Stone. To him, the Nantian Monument Stone was a super artifact. He now knew how to use the Nantian Monument. Boom. It was suppression. Just as Long Fei was about to enter the Nantian Monument Stone, under his right arm, the power of the ancient world's inheritance slightly awakened that dragon-shaped mark. At this moment, in another plane, God's tribe, shrine, Emperor Xian suddenly opened his eyes. Tens of thousands of rays of light shot out, patrolling the world. Shrine shook. Countless powerhouse of God's tribe rushed towards the Emperor Xian Palace in unison. As they kneeled down heavily outside the door, Lord Emperor Xian, what happened? Something that could cause Emperor Xian to open his eyes and shoot out tens of thousands of beams of light to patrol the entire realm was no small matter. The last time Emperor Xian opened his eyes was more than 100 years ago, when a kid from the lower realms charged into killing God, Alter, to kill him. However, the instant it was suppressed, Emperor Xian had never opened his eyes for the past 100 years. The light illuminated the 10,000 worlds. As if the sun was shining down, no one other than the powerhouse of God's tribe noticed anything. After a long time, the voice of the Emperor Xian came out from the shrine and said indifferently, "The repression of boundary stones has awoken." What? Repression of boundary stones? Isn't it destroyed? Why does it still exist? Everyone was shocked. There was basically nothing in the entire universal realm that could shock them to the point where their eyes were filled with fear. But now, their eyes were filled with fear. Repression of boundary stones. The number one stone in ancient world. It could be said, it stood above the ancient world because it was this stone that had suppressed the person from ancient world back then. After a long time, the Emperor Xian said slightly, "Perhaps the ancient legends are true. That person really does exist." Who is that person? I don't know. Name? Gender? Age? Attributes? No one in the ancient world and the billions of people in the universal realm knew who that person was. However, they all knew of the existence of that person because it was only because that person had an ancient world, which was why there were all kinds of ancient inheritance. Without that person, this world would still be in chaos. Emperor Xian, that was only a teleportation invented by the dragon race. It did not even exist. So what if it exists? We are in charge of the ancient inheritance in the 9th floor of ancient world, and we control billions of planes. So what if that person appears and the repression of boundary stones appears? With our strength, who would dare to contend against us? That's right. Many powerhouse of gods, tribe said. Emperor Xian smiled faintly. Anyone in front of the gods' tribe would be ants. To control the universal realm, to control the power of ancient inheritance above the 9th level that were born in the ancient world. This was the gods' tribe, an incomparably powerful gods' tribe. The gods' tribe that no one could shake. Emperor Xian never knew what fear was. And then, the repression of boundary stones still needs a long time before it can fully awaken. During this time, you must help me find it. Find that person, find the repression of boundary stones. Yes, yes. Many powerhouse made loud noises. Just at this time, a presbyter of God's tribe said in a low voice, "The last time we found an aura of the ancient inheritance's power in the lower planes, should we report it?" "What plane?" An elder asked. "Zhenwu continent, the most remote plane of universal realm." To think that the aura of the ancient inheritance would actually appear in such a place. Didn't they send people to that plane? I believe we're almost there, right? I don't need to trouble Lord Emperor Xian with such a small matter. However, there have indeed been some changes in that plane during this period of time. How about this? Send 2 inspector heavenly ambassadors as well. Yes, sir. The meeting of the gods tribe ended. Emperor Xian closed his eyes once again. The gods tribe regained its calm. However, the 2 gods tribe flew out. The awakening of repression of boundary stones represented the awakening of that person, because the 2 were one. Just like how it was when it was born, it almost always descended from the crevices in the sky. That time, the repression of boundary stones had suppressed the king of true dragons. Why did it suppress him? No one knew. There were legends about suppressing demons and devils, and rumors about the king of true dragons wanting to destroy the world. So he was suppressed. As for which type, no one could figure it out. Countless years had passed, and the ancient inheritance as produced by the ancient world were able to improve the hundreds of millions of planes in the universe. Powerhouse appeared one after another. Towards that person, the legends of the repression of boundary stones no longer concerned him. Dragon Abyss Dungeon. Long Zhanting's eyes flickered. His entire body was shrouded in a bloody mess, and he was unspeakably excited. Ha ha! The repression of boundary stones has awakened. The true Dragon King has also awakened. Let's rise. Ha ha ha! Let the world tremble again. Ha ha ha! Chapter 2474. The Challenge of All Things. Chapter 2474. The challenge of all things the next day. Early in the morning, the Princess Sand Moon and his clansmen had all disappeared. He left behind a message that he was going to carry out a great refining exercise. Long Fei did not look for him either. In these 3 days, he had to prepare with all his might. King Kong, did you look for him? In the yard, Long Fei glared at King Kong. Transformers bitterly said, "I found it. I really couldn't find it. I also thought it was strange. Tell me, why doesn't a dignified magic tribe have anything of value?" "It's all because of that demon emperor. This bastard must be the reincarnation of a bandit. He took away all the congratulatory gifts he received yesterday. This is too despicable. I even wanted to make a huge fortune from this." Long Fei thought of a very important matter very early in the morning. The property of the Meng clan. However, the man and the beast had almost turned the Meng family around, but they couldn't find anything valuable, which made Long Fei very depressed. He still wanted to find something to exchange, at least exchange for a few double experience scrolls or something, but he didn't even have a clue. Transformers said, "Boss, let's not talk about treasures for now. My stomach is rumbling like thunder. Can you fill it up first?" "Eat, eat, eat. You know how to eat." Long Fei said disdainfully, "With your current cultivation, do you still need to eat?" Transformers said, "Yesterday I was too tired, and my energy was completely depleted. Eating food is the best way to replenish energy." Hee hee. "Boss, the flood dragon I killed yesterday is still here Why don't we eat grilled flood dragon meat in the morning? Flood dragon meat? Not yet. Go get some. Forget it. I'll go with you. With your looks, don't scare the citizens of the city. When Long Fei walked out of the courtyard, the Transformers immediately followed him. Just as they were about to leave the Meng clan, two disciples, who were not members of the Meng clan, blocked their way. You can't leave the Meng clan. One of the guards looked at Long Fei, and the expression in his eyes changed slightly as he thought to himself, how can there be such a handsome person? Transformers was immediately enraged and asked, Who are you? That warrior said, We are the guards of the 10-story Devil Tower. You promised to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower, so you are not allowed to leave until after you have entered the Demon Pagoda. Long Fei said slightly, We are just going out to eat, we won't run. That person didn't dare look Long Fei in the eye. His tone was very gentle and said, I'm sorry, but I can't let you out. Even if I tell you to leave, you won't be able to leave. The Meng family has already laid down a boundary, so you won't be able to leave. Right. What do you want to eat? I'll buy it for you. How did the two of them look like guards? It was as if they were trying to please their master's servants, and the way they looked at Long Fei was completely different. This was because Long Fei's body was filled with charm value. Transformers was enraged. Boundary? I don't believe it. I was on night watch last night. I don't believe that anyone would be able to set up boundary in front of me. The Transformers said aggressively as he punched towards the sky. However, no boundary appeared. Transformers immediately said, I said it, there is no boundary at all. However, the two guards simply ignored him, not even sparing him a glance. They were extremely disdainful. Long Fei looked at the sky above him. In an instant, boom! With a muffled sound, the boundary barrier appeared, and like a dome, it surrounded the Meng family. Transformers was startled and said, That's impossible. How come I can't touch boundary? Long Fei's eyes also tightened and said, This boundary is not simple. They were also in the boundary, yes, but the Transformers was not restricted by the boundary, and under the restrictions of the boundary, the person who could set up such a formation was no ordinary person. Magic tribe. Indeed, there were hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Long Fei was secretly shocked in his heart. That guard immediately revealed a smile and said, Sir is right. This boundary is Clan of Suppressed Devil. If Clan of Suppressed Devil wants to trap someone, no one will be able to escape. Lord, don't worry. You're free to do whatever you want in the Meng clan. Just tell us what you want, and we'll do it. Long Fei laughed and said, Thank you. Following that, when Long Fei walked back to the courtyard, he heard the two guards fighting in the distance over the jealousy. Wow, he said thank you. He told me, bullshit, he said that to me. They were almost going to fight. Just the word, thank you, nearly killed him. The strength of this charm value is unstoppable. Only after Long Fei disappeared for a long time did they finally react. Why would I be so polite to a human? He is a human, the person I hate the most. Exactly. It seems that we have told him everything, even the matters of the Clan of Suppressed Devil. Are we crazy? The two of them were dumbfounded. In the yard, the Transformers kept trying, but it was the same. He was not restricted by the boundary at all, so he could not touch the walls of the boundary at all. Long Fei looked at the sky and muttered, Could it be that this boundary was designed based on my DNA? Isn't this a little too overpowered? Clan of Suppressed Devil, one of the Magic Tribe S, a tower guard among the 10-story Devil Tower. Is it not a battle between the formations? Long Fei started to carefully ponder in his heart. It's definitely not purely a matter of comparing cultivation strength. It might be omnidirectional. If that's the case, then it's no wonder that no one dares to rush in, since there still aren't any decathlon powerhouse in this world. He knew alchemy, and he also knew how to refine. He could also draw formations and refine talismans. He can even use force. It was simply impossible to have such a powerhouse. No one could balance out so much cultivation. Of course, Long Fei was different. He is the owner of the system. Long Fei's lips curved up, and he laughed. The all-round challenge, right? Good. I will let you know what is called omnipotence. Immediately, Long Fei shouted, Kong Kim, go out and collect some things. Everything I write must be bought out from Meng's city. The more the better. He had a feeling that his prediction was correct. The reason why no one from the 10-story Devil Tower passed was because every single competition within the 10-story Devil Tower was different. No one could take into account such a profession. It's like playing online games. You're clearly a warrior, and you can even use a Forbidden Mage's move. He could even summon divine beast like a priest. Impossible. However, all of these things were impossible for Long Fei. 3 days. F***CK. I'm going to practice throwing up. Just thinking about it made Long Fei feel a little numb in his scalp, but for the SSS mission, he would risk his life just to get Long Fei out. If you don't want to admit it, then do it. I will not submit to you. Chapter 2475. Arrogant Needs Capital. Chapter 2475. Arrogant Needs Capital. Ding. Refinement successful. Proficiency plus 3 points. Ding. Talisman refining successful. Proficiency plus 3 points. Ding. Inscription successful. Proficiency plus 3 points. Ding. Refined puppet technique. Proficiency plus 3 points. He was going all out. Long Fei was really risking his life. The notifications kept ringing in his mind. They were ringing again and again, without stopping. This feeling was even worse than death. Unendurable pain. However, Long Fei had to endure it. Right now, the only thing he was glad about was that he had practiced all the supporting cultivation methods he could at the Xianyu sect for a whole day. Otherwise, even if he wanted to cultivate now, he would have no way to do so. Ding, 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 ding. In the courtyard, the entire courtyard was filled with various items that Long Fei had refined. The quality was not high, and many of them were defective, but this was not the main point. The important thing was the proficiency. Moreover, these auxiliary skills were all the same as the alchemy technique. They all possessed a strong power, which is also the ancient martial arts that Senior Immortal Lu Tian mentioned. Ancient alchemy technique, ancient alchemy, ancient talisman technique. It was as if Long Fei had all the supporting skills that he had trained in before. There was no gap at all between them. He would immediately refine them. He would immediately learn them, and there was no need to adjust his skills at all. Long Fei attributed this reason to the system. To him, it was just like training a skill in a game. He did not need to adapt and adjust himself. Actually, this was because the dragon-shaped mark under his right arm had woken up slightly. This allowed him to be proficient in the cultivation of these ancient martial arts and not have any form of rejection. A bunch of them again. Transformers pushed a small cart, putting away all the puppets and talismans Long Fei refined, then pulled them out and dumped them all. Looking at the large pile of new things in the courtyard, Transformers couldn't help but exclaim, "Isn't this speed too fast?" It's practically like a production workshop. After that, he quickly loaded the small cart. He pulled it out. He was not restricted in the boundary and could freely enter and exit, a place outside the city where garbage was piled up. This place was filled with rubbish dumped by the Transformers. When Transformers arrived again, they started rummaging through the trash. An old man dressed in a black robe. Their cultivation level was very strong, and upon seeing that, Transformers immediately became cautious and muttered, "There is still someone picking up trash these days. It seems like the lives of the people of Magic Tribe are very difficult." Seeing Transformers pushing another small cart over, an old man's footsteps moved. He instantly appeared in front of Transformers and said, "Is this another defective product that he just refined?" Huh. Transformers was startled, then immediately became angry and said, "Damn, what do you mean by defective? Do you King know how to speak? Everything that my boss forges is of the highest quality." Ha ha ha. In the distance, a man laughed loudly. He picked up a puppet on the ground and said, "Exquisite? This kind of trash can even be considered top quality?" While they were talking, as true essence gushed in, the puppet suddenly seemed to come to life. At this moment, "Kacha, Kacha!" All the parts on his body fell apart. That person smiled and said, "A puppet that can't even withstand true essence is called an extreme quality puppet? So this is what you humans think is the best of the best. This is good enough." Ha ha ha. Everyone laughed. That person picked up another talisman and poured more true essence into it. From the talisman, a three-legged cat ran out. It was sickly at that. "This is a beast talisman. It's really amazing." He nearly scared them to death. Not long after, the three-legged cat was on the verge of death. Everyone laughed again. Transformers was in a bad mood, no matter what kind of pill Long Fei refined. Even if it was trash, no one was allowed to insult him. So he quickly stood up. Roar! The golden armor all over his body violently exploded. Power exploded from his body as his body burned with power. Sweeping the air with his gaze, he stared at the person who spoke. "If you say another word, I will kill you." Incomparable savagery. That person's face sank as he shouted, "You beast, am I afraid of you?" Roar. Transformers roared, supporting himself with his feet. He pounced forward. His fists moved. King Kong powerful fist. It was as if the power of thunder was tumbling around him. The middle-aged man's expression slightly darkened. He suddenly descended, releasing his true energy. A thick, illusory image of a steel armor directly covered his entire body. Boom, boom. The King Kong powerful fist descended, and the steel armor on the middle-aged man immediately shattered. His entire body flew out, smashing onto the ground and spitting out a large mouthful of blood. His face was pale. Transformers shouted, "You say my boss refined something that's trash? Who do you think you are? Even if you are trash, you do not have the right to say it." And then he rushed up again. At this moment, the other middle-aged men looked at each other and surrounded Transformers at the same time. Boom, boom. The four of them attacked at the same time, and their cultivations were all at the high stage of the arrogant form. Transformers blocked two people, but the other two people's power smashed onto his chest. Its enormous body was also sent flying backwards. Bam! Transformers' body jolted, and he immediately stood up. Just at this moment, the person who was initially knocked down by him heavily leaped. His fist was like thunder as he smashed Transformers to the ground once again. The other four gathered around him. The five of them attacked together. Transformers could not defend at all, his hands protecting his head. Bam! Bam! Bang! 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 Hitting Transformers with punches and kicks. He did not give him the chance to breathe. This was also because his defense was strong enough. Otherwise, he would have been crippled a long time ago. Humph! Bastard! You dare to be arrogant in front of us. What does your master count as? Humans dare to be so arrogant in our Magic Tribe territory? If it wasn't for the Demon Emperor protecting him, he would have already died. You want to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower to refine these trash? You overestimate yourself. Kill me? I will kill you. The 5 of them attacked, even more ferociously. Suddenly, the sky darkened and a figure descended. With an ice-cold voice, he shouted, "Stop!" The faces of the 5 people changed. He immediately stopped and stood to the side, saying respectfully, "Grand Elder." The elder glared at them. "Who told you to do this?" Transformers crawled up from the pit. His entire body was covered in mud and wounds. Blood trickled down the corner of his mouth as he spat out some blood and said, "Just your strength alone is not enough to tickle me." The old man looked up and said to Transformers, "You need capital to be arrogant, and an arrogant person without capital is not arrogant. That is courting death." With just a glance, Transformers felt an unprecedented pressure. The old man looked around at the things that Long Fei had refined and said, "This sentence of yours to give to your master in Magic Tribe's territory, it's not his place to do as he pleases. Just based on these? You want to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower?" Almost looking to die. After he finished speaking, the old man did not even look at Transformers, and his figure disappeared. A man mocked, "Do you hear me? He is one of the protectors of the 10-story Devil Tower. Go back and tell your master arrogant people need capital." Table of Contents. Table of Contents. In the Meng clan's courtyard. Who hit you? Long Fei could feel that the aura on the Transformers' body was somewhat urgent, and he immediately woke up from his cultivation. Transformers was covered in mud, and there were several wounds on his body. He had clearly been beaten. Long Fei suddenly stood up and asked again, "Who hit you?" Transformers scratched his head and laughed simple-mindedly. "I wasn't careful earlier and fell into the ditch. I'm fine." Lying to me? Long Fei instantly understood that with Transformers' defense, not to mention falling into the ditch, even if he fell into the abyss, he wouldn't be injured. He wasn't stupid. To be able to injure Transformers to this extent, he had to at least be at the high stage of the arrogant form. Long Fei shouted, "Speak." Transformers said, "Boss, I'm really fine." Long Fei asked, "Someone from the Magic Tribe? Someone from the 10 tribes?" Transformers did not speak. F***CK. Long Fei was immediately enraged and quickly rushed out of the courtyard. Transformers quickly chased and blocked Long Fei's path, saying, "Boss, I'm really fine. There's no need to waste time for me." "What's a waste of time?" "You are my brother." "My brother, do you understand? Whoever touches you, I will kill." Long Fei was extremely furious. He had never treated the Transformers as a war pet. Having fought together, be it man or beast, they were all brothers. Transformers was moved. He understood the meaning of the word brother, and the meaning of the word brother was extremely important to him. It was so heavy that he could use his life to protect it. Thus, he even more so couldn't let Long Fei waste time because of him. There was still a day before he could enter the 10-story Devil Tower. What Long Fei needed to do now was to become strong, and become stronger to the best of his abilities. Not a second to waste. Transformers said, "Boss, it's someone from the clan of Suppressed Devil." Transformers saw the beauty on their clothes. Long Fei clenched his fists. "Clan of Suppressed Devil." Transformers said, "They asked me to deliver a message to you." Long Fei asked, "What did he say?" "Arrogant people need capital. They say you don't have capital, and they say that the things you refine are trash." "Boss, now is not the time to waste time. You want to help me get back at me? Now is not the time." When Transformers told Long Fei everything that had happened, Long Fei calmed down instead. "Clan of Suppressed Devil, right?" Long Fei clenched his fists, and then Long Fei returned to the courtyard and once again entered the crazy cultivation mode, repeating the words in his heart. Arrogance requires capital. Arrogant people need capital, right? Then Lousy will show you what capital is. Spiritual array. Open. Ding. System notification. Engraving formation proficiency plus 3 points. Ding. Congratulations to the player, Long Fei, for leveling up. No way. If this goes on, it's too slow. After fighting desperately for 2 days and 2 nights, Long Fei finally managed to increase the level of his supporting skill by a bit. Just like what the old man from Clan of Suppressed Devil said, he wanted to win with just these alone. Absolutely impossible. If the 10-story Devil Tower was really competing in all aspects, then Long Fei's current level of support skill was not enough, even with a strong ancient martial arts. The shackles must be broken. Moreover, the events that had happened today had made Long Fei very unhappy. Either not. To do, he had to absolutely crush them. And then Long Fei stopped, the idea moved, and entered the Ming clan's imprint space. Cultivating the decaying ghost claw here would increase proficiency by 100 points every time. If it could also cultivate at such a fast speed, the skill would be raised to a level similar to flying. Engraving formation. Ding. System notification. Skill activation failed. Proficiency plus 1. Again. Engraving formation. Ding. System notification. Skill activation failed. Proficiency plus 1. He continuously failed a few times. Even with Long Fei's ancient martial arts, he still failed. Following that, Long Fei tried the talisman technique, the puppet technique. It was all the same. Failure, failure, failure. Proficiency could only increase it a little. Huff. Long Fei exhaled. From the looks of it, Ming Clan can only cultivate dark attributed cultivation techniques in this space. It is impossible to learn these supplementary skills. But there's still one more day. There's no way I can beat him with just a level 6 skill. Long Fei was slightly anxious in his heart. Moreover, he tried to break through the boundaries array above him, but it was not even high enough to find the position of the array core. The array formation cast by the Clan of Suppressed Devil's powerhouse inside the 10-story Devil Tower must be even more powerful than this boundaries, since they couldn't even break through the array. Open System Merchant Shop. Long Fei wanted to find a way to speed up from the system's merchant shop. However, although the merchant shop was being updated every day, there was no skill level scroll that he needed, nor was there any speed scroll. Seems like the SSS level mission is really extraordinary. Long Fei muttered to himself. Could it be that I'll have to work so hard for another day? No way. In 1 day and 1 night, Long Fei could at most raise his level by 1. Even all 7 levels were useless. Was he still an opponent? What do I need to do to quickly level up after falling to the ground? Long Fei's forehead was tightly locked. At this time, he was not in a hurry to cultivate and was constantly pondering. Regardless of how difficult the quest is, it still has a way to break it. There must be a way. There must be. The Ming Clan seal can be used to quickly cultivate dark-type cultivation techniques. If I can have this sort of space, I might be able to learn these supplementary skills. Space. Space. Suddenly, Long Fei's eyes flashed with a trace of light. With a wave of his right hand, he summoned his Nantion monument and said, "There is also an independent space within this Nantion monument. Although this is a chaos world. Let's give it a try." Long Fei didn't want to miss any of this opportunity. He had originally wanted to spend 3 days and 3 nights to cultivate. He should be able to handle it with a level 6 or 7 skill. But now, when the Transformers was beaten up, coupled with the words arrogance requires capital, It made him extremely unhappy. Or not. Do it. He was going to do it on his first try. Buzz. Long Fei held onto the Nantian monument with his right hand. The idea moved and once again entered the chaotic world inside the monolith. At this moment, Long Fei did not care about the things in the space and anxiously tried to cultivate. Engraving formation, release. Ding. Inscription failed. Proficiency +1. Huh. Long Fei's heart sank. Even you can't do it. He tried a few more times, but the results were the same. Both of them failed. Long Fei clenched his teeth and said, "Is there really no chance?" Boom. Long Fei roared out and immediately superimposed the ancient martial arts on top of the others, tightening his spirit power. Ancient engraving formation. Boom. Ding. System notification. Inscription successful. Proficiency +200 points. As soon as the system announcement rang out, Long Fei was dumbfounded. Chapter 2477. System, you are going too far. Chapter 2477. System, you are going too far. 200 proficiency, yes. 200 points. Ha ha ha. 200 points. Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed like a 10-year-old child, his back moving up and down, as though he had won a 5 million prize. He had never dreamed of such a thing. He really did not expect that, even after entering the Nantian monument space, he would still have the attitude of giving it a try. At this moment, he felt like he was going crazy. A training space who is even more powerful than the Ming clan's imprint and space. Ha ha ha. Adding 200 proficiency S at once. That's a little abnormal. No, this is very, very, very powerful. System, you are going too far. However, I like it. Ha ha. Long Fei was extremely excited. His entire being was extremely excited, as though he had been injected with chicken blood. Thinking of the words of the old man from Clan of Suppressed Devil, Long Fei immediately became high-spirited. Arrogant, you need some capital, right? Just you wait. I will show you what capital is. All of you, just you wait. His breathing became heavy, and he quickly calmed down. Long Fei once again used the ancient martial arts to cultivate his other supporting skills. Ding. System notification. Talisman refining successful. Proficiency +200 points. Ding. System notification. The puppet has been successfully refined. Proficiency +200 points. Ding. System notification. Refining failed. Proficiency +1 point. After a few tries, Long Fei had a plan in his mind, and he said in his heart, as expected, as long as I use that kind of strong mental power, the mysterious power embedded in my mind will be able to 100% succeed and increase my proficiency by 200. Immortal Master Lu Yuan once said that my alchemy technique is an ancient alchemy technique. This mysterious power is the ancient power. All of Long Fei's support skills seemed to have been trained before, and every time he released it, a strong power would surge out from his body. This power was in his mind, just like the alchemy technique, that powerful technique. When the heaven and earth is the furnace, naturally, it is the fire, always carried an indescribable power. Ancient power. Could it be the power of the ancient world? If my body really does have the power of ancient time, then what is the world of the Nantian monument space? Long Fei thought about it carefully and realized that there were many things he was puzzled about. Ancient power was something that no warrior would dare to imagine, not to mention in Zhenwu continent. Even in Universal Realm, he still wouldn't dare to imagine such a thing. This was also the reason why Immortal Master Lu Yuan had revealed such a shocking expression when he first arrived. Forget it. Who cares what connections he has? We'll first raise all of these support skills to the divine level before anything else. We need the capital. That should be enough to kill you, right? Long Fei's heart sank. Regarding some things that he could not figure out, Long Fei did not want to waste his brain cells. He knew one thing. What should come will eventually come. Since you're here, don't even think about leaving. Bring it on. Go on a rampage. Long Fei roared and entered into a berserk mode. It was great. Every time he increased the number of proficiency S by 200 at the same time, it was also very painful because every time Long Fei used ancient power, he felt as if his mental energy was being drawn out. It was as if his body was being overly consumed. It was extremely hard to bear. This was the reason why he hated cultivating skills. However, no matter how uncomfortable it was, he would grit his teeth and persevere, because no matter how much pain he endured, he was not afraid. What he was afraid of was the pain of the people around him. One must suffer hardships in order to become an outstanding man. Although it was an old saying, but Long Fei really fought with all his might. He was going crazy. He was like a madman. Again. The veins on Long Fei's forehead bulged, and his teeth chattered explosively. With a heavy roar, he unleashed yet another skill. Transformers was not idle either. While Long Fei was cultivating, he was also cultivating. He completely devoured all of the Flood Dragon's blood essence that Long Fei gave him. At the same time, he used his strongest strength to attack himself as if he was training. He wasn't strong enough. His defense wasn't strong enough. He was doing his best. Outside the city, a purple-robed figure descended. Demon Emperor, looking at the piles of defective products, his forehead tightened. "Kid, what are you doing?" An elder gently landed on the ground and said, "You have lost this bet." The Demon Emperor's eyes moved, and he said with a smile, "It hasn't reached that step yet." "I still don't know," the old man said. 10-story Devil Tower, from establishment till now, no one has been able to pass, not to mention that he is only a cowardly human. Look around us. All the refined items are trash. You still want to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower with such a standard? You are betting your own fate. It's also a gamble using Magic Tribe's fate, and also you are irresponsible towards the Magic Tribe. This time I will not support you." The old man said, lightly, the Demon Emperor was the recommended person. If Long Fei lost, he would die. The Demon Emperor would also be expelled from the territory of the Magic Tribe, never to step foot in there again. The Demon Emperor smiled lightly and looked at Meng Cheng. Most of the humans are weak, but he is different. Moreover, humans are much stronger than we imagined. Look at the trash around here. Don't you see anything? The elder glanced over it and said with disdain, "Can you tell that he is a trash?" The Demon Emperor laughed and said, "Although I do not know what the test of 10-story Devil Tower is, but I think he's guessed it. This brat, it's not simple at all." Ha ha ha. As the Demon Emperor finished speaking, he began to laugh. The elder's expression was calm, but his eyes were still filled with disdain. He said, "I don't know why you have such feelings for this human kid, but this time you will be disappointed. He will die in the Demon Tower." Finished. The old man's body moved and disappeared. The Demon Emperor's smile disappeared and was replaced with seriousness instead. There was also that puzzled look on his face. This time, isn't the bet too big? In front of the old man, he could pretend to believe in Long Fei. Right now, there was no one around, so he couldn't stay calm either. After all, they were 10-story Devil Tower S, and every floor was extremely dangerous. If not, after a long time, the Demon Emperor let out a long breath and said, "Right now, I can only trust you. Kid, don't let me down. Otherwise, I'll fall into your hands." The demon emperor bitterly smiled and said as he watched the setting sun, "We only have one night left." In the courtyard, Long Fei was still cultivating like a madman. He was holding on with all his might every second. "Do you want to see it? Do you want to see it?" The demon emperor said those words in a very relaxed and joyous manner. It was as if they were ordinary matters. However, the people in the yard shivered and broke out in a cold sweat. It's more serious than the outcome of the impeachment meeting. Long Fei would die. The demon emperor would be exiled. This was a result that no one wanted to see. Zhu Tianlu shook his head. "Lord Demon Emperor, do you really have to do this?" The Demon Emperor said, "Yes, I must." "All right." Zhu Tiandu stood up from the ground and said, "I will inform 10 tribes. No, I will inform the entire magic tribe to start the 10-story Devil Towers trial." Her eyes were a little red. He fought back tears. With that, Zhu Tianlu walked out of the courtyard. Many of the elders shook their heads and sighed. They walked out of the courtyard with despondent expressions on their faces. An old man walked to the demon emperor's side and said, "Old Zhu has watched you grow up and watched you become a demon emperor. In the past, he paid a great price in order to make you a demon emperor. You really hurt his heart just now." The demon emperor faintly smiled, a heartless expression on his face. He didn't say anything. The old man also let out a long sigh. You should consider the feelings of others and the circumstances of the magic tribe. As the demon emperor, you should shoulder the burden of the magic tribe and not do whatever you want." Finished. He walked out of the courtyard step by step like an old man who had just passed away from death's door. Not long later, everyone in the courtyard had already left. Basically, no one agreed to him taking Long Fei as a disciple. Who would agree to let a human being become 18 captains of Magic King and become the Demon Emperor in the future? No one. The Demon Emperor was stunned on the spot. After the last person left, he frowned. His eyes were a bit hollow, a bit sluggish. At this moment, he doubted himself. Am I really wrong? However, Long Fei's unswerving determination flashed through his mind. He clenched his fists tightly and said, No matter if it's wrong or not, I will still take this road. Even if the people from the previous world don't understand me, I will continue to do so. The demon emperor's eyes flashed with a sharp light, and then disappeared on the spot. Within the bridal room. Following the disappearance of the demon emperor, the binding power on Long Fei's body also gradually weakened, and finally disappeared completely. Long Fei's body regained its freedom, but he did not move immediately. Princess Sand Moon sat in front of him, blushing. When the maid brought the black underwear, her face was even redder than before. Long Fei was actually very shocked in his heart, but at the same time, he was also very excited, and said, "Wow, someone from the same sect. I've really underestimated you. Demon Emperor, you can even get hold of something like this? I only have 2 words. Awesome." Moreover, Long Fei thought that if he wore this black undergarment on Princess Sand Moon's body, he would probably, even God couldn't resist the temptation. Thus, Long Fei did not move. He was pretending to be stupid. Princess Sand Moon lowered her head slightly. She played with the corner of her clothes with her hands as her fingers were twisted tightly until it was red and black. It was as if she could not feel any pain. His mind was filled with all kinds of strange ideas. Of course, there were also scenes that were inappropriate for children. Long Fei said slightly, "If you continue to wrap around me like this, your finger will definitely break." Princess Sand Moon reacted and immediately relaxed. He smiled and said, I. Long Fei said, "Too nervous? There's always a first time. Everyone gets nervous. This is also my first time." With his memories sealed by the seal, Long Fei now felt that he had transmigrated here from Earth. So, he still didn't know what a woman felt like. He treated himself as if it was his first time. But the first time Long Fei talked about marriage, when Princess Sand Moon thought about it for the first time, she became even more embarrassed and did not dare to raise her head to look at Long Fei. Long Fei looked at her blushing cheeks and had to say, she was really beautiful. It was so beautiful that he could not control himself. But Long Fei couldn't move now. He wanted to be pushed back. Seeing the Princess Sand Moon not saying a word, Long Fei said, "Eternal night, we can't possibly sit here forever, right?" Princess Sand Moon immediately stood up and said, "I'll go check if they have left." Long Fei was stunned. They were not on the same channel at all. The Princess Sand Moon walked to the door softly and stopped for a moment. When he found that there was no one outside, he snickered and said in a low voice, "They have left." Long Fei could only smile along, cursing in his heart. "Demon Emperor, are you King able to do things properly? What if you call me that? You can't let me use a strong one on your wedding night, right? CK. At this time, Princess Sand Moon wanted to open the door, but he found that it was locked. Princess Sand Moon was a little anxious and shouted loudly, "Open the door! Why did you lock it? Hurry and open the door." Lock the door. Another surge of hope rose in Long Fei's heart. At this time, the Princess Sand Moon idea moved, and immediately summoned a huge lightning hammer that was refined, and said, "Don't worry, I'll smash it open." Long Fei was about to jump up on the spot, and quickly said, "Forget it, this is unlucky." Princess Sand Moon was startled for a moment, then said, "Unlucky?" Long Fei rolled his eyes and said, "It's extremely unlucky to be able to stay in my hometown. If you break out of my house and escape, you will have no children in the future." Princess Sand Moon muttered, "So ruthless? Don't worry. I'll smash open the door and windows. If I escape, you won't be cursed. I'll go find Uncle Demon Emperor to help you remove the bindings." Princess Sand Moon raised his hammer and was about to smash it. Long Fei continued, If the curse is real, then I hope that you have no descendants. Furthermore, we are now married. Huh. Princess Sandmoon put away her hammer again. She felt warm in her heart. At least Long Fei had treated her as his bride, and as she would get married today. Princess Sandmoon sat back on the bed and asked angrily, "Then what do we do? These people, they don't even have chairs." The corner of Long Fei's mouth twitched, and his gaze landed on the black-colored underwear on the table. Princess Sandmoon immediately reacted and walked towards the table. Long Fei was excited, but without even waiting for a second, Princess Sandmoon said, "You want me to sit at the table?" Long Fei, you want to die. He really wanted to die. Long Fei let out a heavy breath, looked at the black undergarments on the table, and said, "This outfit is pretty beautiful. Why don't you try it on?" Princess Sandmoon finally reacted. Immediately, his face, which had recovered, turned red again. He lowered his head and entwined his fingers with the corner of his shirt. He didn't speak for a long time. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. Long Fei regretted saying what he did just now. If not, he would at least be able to speak, and would not even be able to speak now. The key was he still couldn't move. He kept his posture, and his body was a little numb, just when he was about to give up. Princess Sandmoon's voice was as soft as a mosquito's. "Do you want to see?" Chapter 2479, Triggering Hidden Tasks. Chapter 2479, Triggering Hidden Tasks. What? Long Fei was a little confused. Princess Sandmoon picked up the black undergarments on the table, his face as red paper. He raised his voice a little, looked at Long Fei, and said, "Do you want to look?" "Gudong!" Long Fei's Adam's apple tumbled. He almost jumped up. Luckily, he held himself back. He pretended to be calm and said, "If you are willing, I would like to see." Princess Sandmoon's gaze tensed up as he looked at the clothes in his hand. If he put this clothes on, what would he look like? She really wanted to know. Long Fei said, "If you are not willing, then forget it." Princess Sandmoon immediately said, "I am willing." He thought to himself, "For you, I am willing to do anything." Long Fei had saved her before, twice, to help her get rid of the hidden danger of the Sandmoon tribe, and help her get the weapon refining sacred flame allowed the Sandmoon tribe to have a chance to rise up once again. She didn't show any expression on the surface, but her heart was incomparably moved. That girl couldn't have imagined such a thing. A man he loved became enemies with the entire world for her. It was too romantic, and Princess Sandmoon had fantasized about it before. Now, she knew clearly in her heart that Long Fei was a human. After today, he might want to leave this place, and he might never step into the territory of the magic tribe. They would be like two parallel lines that would never intersect. Thus, Princess Sandmoon was willing to sacrifice everything in his heart. She slowly undid the buttons on her clothes and stood in front of Long Fei. Her face was no longer blushing, but rather a little calmer. For the man she loved, she was willing to do anything. Long Fei watched in a daze, feeling excited in his heart. It's going to be pushed down. It's going to be pushed down. Ha ha. I really didn't think that I would use such a method to welcome my first time. Ha ha. Exceptionally excited. But just when he was extremely excited and the Princess Sandmoon was about to untie his clothes, bam! The door was knocked down. The door frame was scattered and flying rooms were everywhere. A huge fist with fur and a golden glove. Transformers' fist. Transformers shouted, "Boss, something's happened." F***CK. Long Fei was furious by hundreds of thousands of feet. She instantly jumped up from the bed and rushed forward as she bellowed, "King Kong!" Princess Sandmoon was startled and immediately buckled up. Her face also flushed red, and after seeing Long Fei rushing out of bed, she said, "You can move now?" "Air." Long Fei looked at himself and acted dumb Hey, I can move now. I can actually move. Princess San Moon looked at Long Fei. She was not stupid. Naturally, they could tell that Long Fei was pretending. When he thought about what he did just now, and what he said just now, with a black undergarment in his hand, Princess San Moon wanted to find a hole and hide in it. The atmosphere was awkward. Now, he was thinking that it was already impossible for Princess San Moon to wear this black robe. Long Fei also lost her interest in sex. He rushed out anxiously. Right now, he wanted to blast Transformers away, walk out of the room, and look at him in the courtyard. Not far away, Kai Lina leaned on a pillar. Although it was night, but Long Fei still saw that she was secretly laughing. When Transformers saw Long Fei walking out, he said, "Boss, something bad has happened. Something big has happened." Long Fei suppressed the anger in his heart, stared at Transformers, and asked, "What happened?" It was as if he wanted to kill Transformers with his eyes. Transformers said, "Magic Tribe has joined hands to deal with you." Huh. Long Fei was startled and said, "Deal with me? I have not provoked the Magic Tribe, nor robbed their women, nor peeked at their wives bathing. Why are you doing this to me?" "About that, I don't know the specifics either." Transformers looked at Kai Lina. Long Fei's eyes turned and stared at Kai Lina, and he said, "What exactly happened?" Kai Lina walked forward. The Transformers scratched his head and muttered to Kai Lina, "How do you know the General Assembly is angry?" Kai Lina said, "I don't know the specifics. I only know that Magic Tribe is about to activate the 10-story Devil Tower." 10-story Devil Tower? Long Fei asked. At this time, when the Princess Sand Moon heard 10-story Devil Tower, he quickly came out of the room and said in shock, "What did you say just now? The 10-story Devil Tower's test." Kai Lina said, "Yes, it is the 10-story Devil Tower's test." Princess Sand Moon frowned. "How can this be?" And then, without thinking, she immediately said, "All of you quickly leave this place." Long Fei wasn't sure, but she knew what the 10-story Devil Tower test meant. He absolutely could not enter. The Jedi couldn't. He would die in there. Long Fei asked, "What is called the 10-story Devil Tower test?" "Is it that scary?" Princess San Moon said, "It's more than just terror. It's extremely terrifying. So far, no one has been able to pass it, and now it's hard to explain. Listen to me. Leave now. Quickly leave Magic Tribe." Long Fei did not move and said, "So savage? I would like to try." To him, the more brutal a place was, the more leveling it up. The 10-story Devil Tower sounded very powerful. Could it be a secret world? Is it filled with powerful demon beast? Princess San Moon grabbed Long Fei and said, "Listen to me. Don't go. Leave now. The faster the better. If you are late, it will be too late." Kai Lina also said, "It should be very scary." The Transformers scratched his head. He was still thinking how Kai Lina knew that Long Fei would get angry. Long Fei replied, "What are you afraid of? Aren't there still the Demon Emperor?" Suddenly, Long Fei's eyes darkened. He fiercely slapped his thigh and said, "Damn, could it be that it was also him who caused this?" Ha ha ha. At this moment, a wild laugh fell, and then the purple-robed man descended. He looked at Long Fei with a face full of smiles and said, "Brat, you really know me to think that you could actually guess it in a second." Ha ha ha. When the Demon Emperor descended, Transformers and Kai Lina immediately kept their distance. She knew the rules of 10-story Devil Tower. If it was recommended by the Demon Emperor, once Long Fei fails, he will die inside. Moreover, the Demon Emperor would also be expelled from the Magic Tribe. Immediately, the Princess San Moon looked at the Demon Emperor and said, "Uncle Demon Emperor, we can't let him in. He will die inside, and you..." Not waiting for her to finish, the Demon Emperor's eyes moved, signaling the Princess Sand Moon not to continue. He instead looked at Long Fei with disdain and said, "Brat, do you dare to try the strongest test in our magic tribe? However, humans are cowards and cowards, so it is normal that they don't dare to try. If you don't dare, then pretend I didn't say so." The Demon Emperor looked at Long Fei with contempt. Long Fei said, "How so?" The Demon Emperor said, "Just tell me if you dare or not." Without waiting for Long Fei to speak, the system sounded out. Ding. Chapter 2480, The Highest Level 10-Story Devil Tower. Chapter 2480, The Highest Level 10-Story Devil Tower. The 4 elders from the clan of Suppressed Devil were killed. This was undoubtedly a provocation. How dare a human being act so arrogantly in Magic Tribe's territory? No one would be able to tolerate it. Long Fei only let one of them go so that he could lure out 1 or 2 bosses. What he did not expect was that the boss did not appear, but an emergency meeting of the 10 Great Magic Tribe Magic Mountain, Demonic Shrine. Just now, 4 of the 5 elders from my clan went to welcome that human in the Magic Mountain was killed, and all of them had their heads chopped off, and their deaths were incomparably tragic. I can't tolerate this kind of attitude. He is challenging the entire Magic Tribe. When did our Magic Tribe suffer such humiliation? My clan of Suppressed Devil cannot tolerate this. The head elder said with a heavy tone. His face was scarlet red, and his eyes seemed as if they were about to spew fire. As soon as he finished, the hall was filled with discussions. He killed 4 people in a row. What did he want to do? Do you really think we are afraid of a mere human being who is so lawless? This is too presumptuous. I don't know why the Demon Emperor recommended him to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower. Not only did he destroy the Meng family, he even killed an elder of the clan of Suppressed Devil. What is he planning to do? Do you want to cause a war? We can't let him continue to be so arrogant. If you ask me, then forget about the 10-story Devil Tower. Just kill him directly, so that we don't have to waste our time. I agree. We cannot expel the Demon Emperor because of him. You're right. Although the Demon Emperor is fickle, he's still the #1 person in the Magic Tribe. Furthermore, he was selected by our 10 races to be the Demon Emperor. How could he be expelled? I also suggest we take action immediately. The crowd broke out into a flurry of discussion. They were all in favor of taking action against Long Fei first, because they knew that Long Fei would definitely not be able to break through the 10-story Devil Tower, and would not be able to get through easily. However, the matter of expelling the Demon Emperor was not small. Adding on the cultivation of the Demon Emperor, this was the true Martial Palace's powerhouse. Without his suppression, the human race would probably not be as quiet as they were now. The great clan elder of the clan of Suppressed Devil frowned and said solemnly, "We must kill him, but the Demon Emperor has already recommended this. This kind of mistake cannot be forgiven." Everyone quieted down. To recommend humans to challenge 10-story Devil Tower was an unforgivable crime. Moreover, the entire Magic Tribe knew that the Demon Emperor wanted to take Long Fei as his last disciple. I believe he won't be able to pass the 10-story Devil Tower, and I don't want to see the Demon Emperor expelled either. Have you ever thought about what the consequences would be if that kid were to rush through all of them? Careful thinking and fear. These elders felt their scalps go numb. No one could pass the 10-story Devil Tower. Once Long Fei passed it, his influence would shake the entire Magic Tribe. Not only that, it would also represent his talent and potential. The Demon Emperor would definitely pass on all of his inheritances to him. In the future, Long Fei would become the new demon emperor. Humans becoming the rulers of the magic tribe was something they could not accept, absolutely could not accept. After a long time, one of the elders said solemnly, "I will return to the tribe immediately and ask the master to come out." After saying that, his head didn't even fly out of the hall. Next, the other elders were the same. They definitely could not let Long Fei become the disciple of the demon emperor. Absolutely not. Within the palace, the great clan elder's eyes turned sinister as he spoke sinisterly. "Brat, I said it before, I will make you regret coming to this world. Just you wait. The 10-story Devil Tower will make you tremble." Then his figure flashed, and he instantly disappeared from the main hall. 10 tribes, the 10 Great Master S came out. The 10-story Devil Tower instantly rose to the highest level. As the numerous elders left the great hall, the demon emperor's figure fell. He smiled and said, "Good boy, as soon as you leave the door, start killing." How exciting! But the demon emperor stopped smiling and looked towards the sky, saying, "You took the wrong step, attracting the strongest 10-story Devil Tower in history." Boom, boom. In the air above Magic Tribe's territory, powerful energies were being released one after another. Every single one of them was the aura of the Zhenwu realm. The demon emperor let out a long breath. The old monsters have all come out of seclusion. "Sigh. It seems that I will become the first demon emperor to be kicked out of the Magic Tribe." The demon emperor shook his head with a wry smile. Normal 10-story Devil Tower could not pass it. Now, it's the highest level. Then, there was no need to even think about it. He definitely wouldn't be able to pass it. Chapter 2481. Hardness. This was what it meant to be tough. Chapter 2481. Hardness. This was what it meant to be tough. In front of us is Magic Mountain. At the foot of the mountain, Princess Sand Moon raised his head to look at the mountain peak. In front of him, his eyes full of respect. Deep in his heart, he felt reverence. Magic Mountain, holy mountain of Magic Tribe. The mountain was precipitous and did not have any plants growing on it. It was like a huge, sharp rock that soared into the sky. The mountain was dark as it pierced through the clouds like a streak of darkness. Looking at it, one would feel as if a bayonet was piercing into the heart of the heavens. Astonishing, extremely terrifying. Long Fei was also shocked. How awesome! This battle formation seems like it wants to fight against the heavens. Formidable, truly formidable. Long Fei couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Magic Mountain was like a miracle. Princess Sand Moon said slightly, "This is the place where Magic Tribe originated." Legend has it that before the Magic Mountain was destroyed and led to another world, the people of the Magic Tribe came here from another world, but was directly destroyed by a giant wave of energy. Magic Tribe will always be here. Transformers said in shock, "I can't even see the peak, and you think it has been cut off from the top? Isn't this too amazing?" Princess Sand Moon laughed and said, "This is only a legend. No one can verify it." However, Long Fei asked with doubt, "What about the other half?" Princess Sand Moon was startled for a moment before he replied, "I don't know either. Legend has it that the other half were taken by the gods. There are also rumors that the other half fell into the abyss to block the infernal realm's exit. No one knows." Long Fei looked at the Magic Mountain with interest as he muttered to himself in his heart, "Perhaps the legends are true. This mountain might really be able to lead to another world." This was a very special feeling. When he saw the Magic Mountain, he could not help but feel that it was a bridge connecting two dimensions. If he could find the other half and link it up, he might be able to open the door to another plane. Princess Sand Moon said, "Now you are the only one who can go up. Long Fei said, "All of you wait here. Don't worry, I will definitely be fine." Princess San Moon was a little worried. She didn't know what to say at this time. She could only look at Long Fei and said with concern, "Be careful if you can't hold on anymore. Activate the thing I gave you. You must remember it." Long Fei thought of that mini door and nodded, "I will remember." Just when Long Fei was about to step into the magic mountain boom, the purple shadow descended. Kai Lina, who had disappeared for 3 days, descended. Buzz. His wings flapped and he immediately blocked Long Fei's way. "You can't go." The expression in Transformers' eyes suddenly tightened and instantly rushed to Long Fei's side. His body erupted with a wave of dense chi, and he carefully became on guard, lowering his voice as he said, "Boss, it's him." The one who came was the great clan elder of the clan of Suppressed Devil, Demon Suppression. The demon suppressor coldly stared at Long Fei and said, "The 10-story Devil Tower has already been activated. How can you not participate?" The Princess San Moon said, "Demon Suppressing Elder, we have not stepped into the Magic Mountain. According to the rules, we still have more." Not waiting for her to finish, Demon Suppressing Eyes turned sinister and said, "Is Sand Moon Tribe a magic tribe or a human? You actually dare to speak to an outsider and eat inside out." At this moment, boom, a powerful pressure directly attacked Princess San Moon. Long Fei squinted his eyes with a move of his right hand. He unsheathed the sky sword and slashed outwards, immediately shattering the suppressive power of the demon suppressing orb, and said, "Do you want to touch her again?" The demon suppression great clan elder's gaze tensed up. He did not expect that hitting Long Fei would actually be able to shatter his pressure. His cultivation was much higher than Long Fei. He was a powerhouse of the Mahayana realm. However, Demon Suppression said coldly, "I'll move it for you to see." Boom. Being killed by his 4 disciples was already quite displeasing to him. If Long Fei didn't enter the 10-story Devil Tower at this time and let him escape, then he would definitely not forgive himself. The power of the Mahayana realm burst out. Staring at Long Fei, the killing intent in his heart was dense. He coldly snorted, "Brat, go and die." Long Fei smirked. "The Mahayana realm, right? Come, let's see how strong you are." "No, not at all. Stiff. That's it." Chapter 2482, Tasks that May Arrive in the Sky. Chapter 2482, Tasks that may arrive in the sky no matter what realm you are in, not to mention the Mahayana realm. Even if you are the great emperor of Jinwu, or even the universal realm's superpower house, Long Fei's dictionary still does not have the word cower. Just now. That's it. Who's afraid of who? Long Fei's right hand held the sky sword tightly. He was not worried about anything else. He was just worried that the pressure would cause his body to become slow. So, he had to firmly utilize the strength of the sky sword. Strange lights flashed. Long Fei's mind went silent, allowing himself to maintain his peak condition. Sensing the strange aura on the demon suppressor's body, Long Fei immediately reacted. Boom. Rumble. A series of explosions occurred in the air. The ear-piercing sound exploded like a thunderclap. At this moment, Long Fei also felt the inexhaustible power that was attacking him, which set off a huge wave that overflowed the heavens, heavily smashing down. This kind of feeling, it was as if he was floating in the middle of a vast ocean, alone and without help, being crushed by the entire world. It was as though he had been abandoned. What a powerful strength! Is this the power of the Mahayana realm? Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. It was much stronger than he had imagined, and his body couldn't help but be crushed by the waves of energy. Slow reaction. Even if the sky sword could cut through everything, but it could not cut off its power. At this moment, Long Fei's sea of consciousness was constantly churning and surging. He was completely unable to control it. His strength was too great. The difference in levels was too great. He couldn't control them at all. Hee. Ha. Long Fei clenched his teeth. The idea moved and started to activate its arrogant god energy value. But right at this moment, buzz, as if a ray of sunlight had scattered into the dark abyss, his entire body felt warm and incredibly comfortable. The energy of the surrounding Mahayana realm was also instantly squeezed out and heavily crushed, and finally disappeared without a trace. Stop! As soon as his voice sounded, his figure also descended as well. Demon Emperor! A sharp light flashed in Princess Sanmoon's eyes as he immediately replied, Uncle Demon Emperor. Long Fei's heart also sank. He secretly heaved a sigh of relief. If the Demon Emperor had come even later, he could have used his arrogant god energy value. And also, even if he used his arrogant god energy value, he still wouldn't be a match for the demon suppression. He could not help but clench his fists tightly and thought to himself, if the Mahayana realm is so powerful, then the Zhanwu realm, true martial emperor, that old granny, the Zhao family's powerhouse, Zhou Yaozong, every single one of them was an incomparably powerful existence. But through the demon-suppressing orb, Long Fei realized that his arrogant form state was not even enough to see through, even if he had many powerful cultivation techniques. But level determines everything. Even if you can kill people beyond your level, you will still be considered Mahayana realm when you reach level 10. Even the powerhouse of the Mahayana realm could not handle it. Level! Long Fei roared in his heart. Demon Suppression's eyes turned sinister as he bowed and said, Demon Emperor. Although he was not happy with Long Fei, he still treated the Demon Emperor with great respect. After all, he was the Demon Emperor, the Emperor of the Magic Tribe, and the most powerful being of the Magic Tribe. The Demon Emperor said, Demon Elder, why do you have to be so angry? Just now, he had felt the killing intent from the demon-suppressing orb. And that strength just now, it was his strongest and pinnacle strength, and he wanted to instantly kill Long Fei. Evil Suppression said, He killed 4 of my clan of suppressed Devil's Elders. How can I not be angry? It would be our shame if an elder of the clan of suppressed devil died in the hands of a human. The Demon Emperor said, For elders of the clan of suppressed devil have indeed died, but you should know how they died. If they followed my orders and didn't mock others or make things difficult for others, do you think they will die? The meaning of his words was obvious. He deserved to die. Demon Suppression's eyes darkened. The Demon Emperor said, Let's not pursue this matter any further. Then the Demon Emperor looked at Long Fei and said, Right now, you have yet to step into the Magic Mountain. You still have a choice. Once you leave this place, you will be endlessly hunted down by the Magic Tribe. No matter where you are, you won't stop until you die. Recently, Long Fei had been too arrogant in the Magic Tribe. The Master S of the 10 tribes had all come out of seclusion. Once Long Fei left, the Magic Tribe would activate the Devil Slaughter token. No matter where you are, no matter what identity you have, you must chase him to death. It wouldn't stop until one of them was dead. This was Magic Tribe's strongest killing order. Since ancient times, there had never been a failure. The Demon Suppressor looked at Long Fei. Princess Sanmoon also continuously shook his head at Long Fei. The Devil Slaughter token was indeed afraid, but compared to the highest level 10-story Devil Tower, the Devil Slaughter token was nothing. At least, Devil's Killing gives you a chance to live a bit longer. However, 10-story Devil Tower would die if they entered it, leaving not even the slightest chance for it. Long Fei was calm, and there was not a single trace of fear on his face. He did not speak. Instead, he took a few steps forward and directly stepped onto the magic mountain. Long Fei, Princess Sand Moon didn't even have time to pull it. Demon Suppressor laughed wildly. Ha ha, ha ha ha. Brat, you have stepped into the magic mountain. Now you can't even leave if you want. Prepare to tremble. Ha ha ha. And then the demon-suppressing bodies moved, disappearing from where it stood. The Demon Emperor let out a light breath, looked at Long Fei, and said, "Just now, you still had a slight chance of survival, but now, you've already entered hell." He began to hold onto a trace of hope for Long Fei. However, now, he knew that Long Fei didn't have any chances. He had seen the master. So these people were not happy with his actions. As a result, they would use all their power to kill Long Fei. To them, Long Fei had already been a dead man the moment he stepped into the magic mountain. The Princess Sand Moon was crying as he said, "Uncle Demon Emperor, there must be a way, right? Please, don't let him go to the Demon Pagoda." The Demon Emperor shook his head and said, "Now, I said it didn't count. His authority has been restricted. Even if there were no restrictions, he couldn't do anything to Long Fei, nor could he protect him, because his identity as the Demon Emperor, no matter what happened, it had to be considered in the general context of Magic Tribe. In the beginning, he only purely wanted to take Long Fei as his disciple. He never thought that if so many people objected, he would want to take Long Fei in even more. Now, things had gone big. It was so big that he couldn't keep it any longer. The Demon Emperor looked at Long Fei and said, "Now, it's up to you. It's all up to you now. I will do everything I can to protect the three of them. You can rest assured on that." Long Fei said, "Thank you." Long Fei was worried about Kai Lina, Princess Sand Moon, and King Kong. Since the Demon Emperor had promised them, they would definitely be fine. And then the Demon Emperor's body floated up as he flew towards the peak of the magic mountain. Looking at Long Fei, who was on the ground, he felt a little apologetic in his heart, and he thought to himself, "Brat, I'm sorry." He felt that he had destroyed Long Fei. However, he did not know how excited Long Fei was. No one knew. Long Fei was completely excited at this moment. He wanted to level up. He yearned for a breakthrough. The days of the gods' sect gathering were about to arrive. The arrogant form state might be able to rise to prominence among the young generation, but his target was Yi Yorong's master, the Zhao family, and Zhou Yaozong, SSS Super Mission. No matter how difficult it was, even if there wasn't the demon-suppressing orb, Long Fei would still do it without hesitation, because this task might send him to heaven. Chapter 2483, Entering the Demon Tower. Chapter 2483. Entering the Demon Tower. Besides the quest level, there was no description for the SSS level quest. In his previous life, Long Fei had played so many games, yet he had never encountered such a quest. Reward. Time. However, there was one thing he could confirm. This mission must be extremely difficult, with a lot of difficult task reward. Long Fei firmly believed in this. Playing games, he was a professional. Huff. Long Fei exhaled a long breath, turned around, and looked at the three Princess Sand Moon as he said, "Don't worry, I'll definitely return alive." Princess Sand Moon cried. Transformer said, "Boss, I believe you. Let's see if they can still act so arrogantly after destroying whatever 10 great master they have. They need capital, so we can let them know what is considered capital." Kai Lina said slightly, "Be careful, don't forget what you promised me." Princess Sand Moon also said, "As long as you can come back alive, I'll do whatever you want me to do. You can let me wear that outfit all day long, as long as you can come back." Finished. Princess Sand Moon did not feel shy either. She was serious. She wasn't stupid. She naturally knew what Long Fei wanted from that night. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up as he smiled excitedly. "Wait for me, I'll definitely be back." At this moment, a voice came from the top of Magic Mountain. "Enter the tower!" Boom! A loud sound echoed out. A ray of light immediately trapped Long Fei like a cage. Next, Long Fei was lifted up by a powerful force and flew towards the peak of the Magic Mountain. Long Fei did not resist. He didn't need to resist. In the face of an SSS mission, he was only excited, clenching his fists tightly. He thought in his heart, 10 tribes' old monster. I would like to see how strong all of you are. Within a few breaths' time, boom, Long Fei descended and arrived at the peak of Magic Mountain. In a huge square, the surroundings were densely packed with Magic Tribe's people. Of the 10 tribes, elders, clan heads, all gathered together. Just like the ball and Magic Tribe, even at a grand gathering, there had not been a single time that so many powerhouse had gathered. This place seemed to be where all the powerhouse-s gathered. Long Fei stood in the center of the plaza and swept his gaze across the entire audience with a glance, saying with slight shock, "I didn't think that this Magic Mountain would be so huge." "Ha ha ha. Brat, you're finally here. A mere human dares to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower. You are already a dead man now. Let's see how long he can stay arrogant for. Humans tremble. Ha ha ha." At this moment, Long Fei acted like he was in a beast battle arena. He was a beast for others to please, and the surrounding Magic Tribe-s were all officials. They were just here to see how Long Fei had died. Huff! Long Fei let out an excited breath, his mind excited. If I were to beat these people up, how much experience would I get? And the powerhouse-s are all here. Killing them all would mean exposing the entire Magic Tribe's treasures. Long Fei couldn't help but laugh. He couldn't control it at all. What's he laughing at? Kid, you're about to die, and you still have the nerve to laugh. Laugh? You're going to cry later on. I have never seen the highest level 10-story Devil Tower in my life before. I never thought that it could be used on a human being. What I want to know now is how that person will die. In seconds. Ha 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 ha. To date, the highest level 10-story Devil Tower had appeared 3 times. The first 2 times were against the 2 heinous demons from Magic Tribe, were all peak powerhouse-s of the Zhenwu realm. But he had just barely made it to the 3rd floor and then failed. Died in there. This was the 3rd time Long Fei had met him. He was only at the 2nd stage of the arrogant form. There was no way he could compete with the 2 peak stage Zhenwu devils. Without even thinking, he would die on the 1st stage. Quiet! Suddenly, a deep sound came crashing down. The entire arena suddenly quieted down. The demon suppressor walked up and looked at Long Fei coldly, filled with contempt, and said, "Demon sacrifice pagoda." As soon as he finished speaking, boom, 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 6 male Magic Tribe-s dressed in black robes landed heavily on the plaza from 6 different directions. His hands formed a seal as a cut appeared on his palm. Fresh blood gushed out as he slammed his palm on the plaza. Immediately, a hexagram appeared, linked together. Deep in the center, there was a violent trembling. A powerful force broke through the surface of the earth. Long Fei retreated quickly, his expression darkening. He thought that the 10-story Devil Tower was just like the pagoda that belonged to Heavenly King Li. Even if it wasn't, it was a completed structure. He never thought that it would be summoned from inside the Magic Mountain's body. Rumble! 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 The entire mountain shook violently, and even Long Fei was a little worried that the Magic Mountain would collapse because of this. Bam! the top level of the demon pagoda rushed out of the ground. Its entire body was black, and its carvings were filled with all kinds of strange, fiendish demons that were covered with runes that had never been seen before. Bam! Yet another layer of power charged out from the ground. Every time a pagoda charged out from the ground, the people from the magic tribe would kneel down and worship, as if the pagoda was their god. Why did this happen? They also did not know that this was passed down from ancient times. Sacrifice at the demon pagoda. Boom, boom, layer upon layer. After a few minutes, the 10-story Devil Tower appeared from the depths of the earth. It rose up into the sky. Long Fei looked up, and his heart secretly shook. So powerful, moreover. A bright light flashed in his eyes. The pagoda glowed with a black light. What was this? In the eyes of the people of Magic Tribe, this was their sacred artifact, Magic Pagoda. But when Long Fei looked at the system through it, he said, "My good boy, it's unbelievable. This is a fucking super artifact. Although its attributes could not be seen, the system would not make a mistake. The existence of super artifact," Long Fei said with saliva flowing out of his mouth. "I wonder if we can blow it out. SSS super mission. Could it be the super artifact's reward?" Ha ha ha. It's getting more and more fun. Long Fei became more and more excited, and he was completely unable to control it. The demon tower appeared. Magic Tribe stood up. "Please return to your position in the tower." As soon as he finished, the people of 10 tribes all kneeled down once again. Rumble! Bang, 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 bang. One after another, the sky exploded and sank. A huge amount of energy flooded out from all directions and struck Long Fei's mind. Long Fei was almost unable to endure it any longer, and his mind seemed to be about to explode. "Show your prowess?" Long Fei forced himself to calm down. At this moment, 10 figures appeared in the sky, whether it was white-haired, red-haired, fiery red, or ethereal celestial bones. 10 elders. Every single one of them was a kind of super powerhouse. In that instant, the 10 of them moved, transforming into 10 streaks of light and instantly charging into the 10-story Devil Tower. No one knew which floor they were on. After they entered the tower, all of the Magic Tribe shouted in unison towards Long Fei, Bedevilment Tower. Chapter 2484, First Level, Puppet Country. Chapter 2484, First Level, Puppet Country, boom. His voice was deafening. The sky seemed to resonate with him. Over 10,000 Magic Tribe stared at Long Fei, their eyes fierce like wild beasts. He stopped abruptly. The crowd instantly quieted down, and a pin drop could be heard. Demon Suppression's voice sank, and he coldly said, "Kid, I told you, arrogance requires capital. If you dare to be arrogant in Magic Tribe, there will only be a result." He died without a complete corpse. Ha ha ha. He began to laugh maniacally. Long Fei revealed a look of astonishment as he looked at the demon-suppressing pagoda, and at this time, he also walked towards it step by step. "So you were the one who said that arrogant people need capital. Today, I will show you what capital is." Long Fei finally found out who the Transformers was. He had thought that they were the 4 clan of suppressed devil elders that he had killed. He hadn't expected them to be this great clan elder. "We'll see how you die in there. Let's enter the tower." Long Fei walked in front of the gigantic Devil Tower and looked at the open door. Inside the door, the darkness seemed like the gaping mouth of a prehistoric beast, devouring everything. He didn't look back. He took a big step up the stairs and stepped into the pagoda. Bam! The moment Long Fei entered the demon pagoda, the door closed. The first floor flashed with a dazzling black light. "It's starting. The 10-story Devil Tower test has begun. This kid can last for a few minutes. A few minutes? I think we won't be able to hold on for a few seconds. When Master made his move, he was instantly killed. Ha ha ha. The Demon Emperor's gaze tensed up as he stared at the first level of the Demon Pagoda. He thought to himself, the first level, Puppet Nation, is guarded by Master Puppet Magic Tribe. Kid, how long can you hold out? Who? The Demon Emperor felt a great pressure, the feeling of never coming out. When he found out about the positions of the 10 Great Master-S, he vaguely guessed what the test of the Demon Pagoda was. It was too late to remind Long Fei now. Moreover, the Demon Emperor was abnormally shocked. He had just guessed the 10-story Devil Towers test, but Long Fei had already guessed it 3 days ago. Otherwise, he wouldn't have refined so many trash. Kid, I didn't make a mistake. It's just... The Demon Emperor's heart tightened. Long Fei guessed that the 10-story Devil Towers test would not change the outcome because it was too strong. The Master-S of the 10 tribes were too strong. They were all at the pinnacle. Long Fei was only an arrogant form cultivator. How could he be a match for him? The Demon Emperor said, "Boy, you must come out alive. No matter what the price is, you must live on. Even if I am expelled, I must still take you in as my disciple." Ha ha ha. The Demon Emperor wildly laughed in his heart. He dared to do anything he wanted to do, even if it meant betraying the Magic Tribe. Beneath Magic Mountain's feet, the Princess Sand Moon said slightly, "The test of the Demon Pagoda has begun." He clasped his hands together and silently prayed. Transformers paced around anxiously. His heart started to worry as he thought to himself, "Boss, you will definitely win. You will definitely win." Kai Lina flapped his wings and immediately flew into the air to observe. In the pagoda. After Long Fei stepped into the Demon Pagoda, he was slightly shocked. This is the world of Secret World. That's right. Buzz. A voice rang, and the dark secret world turned into day in an instant. An old man dressed in a blood-red long robe stood not far away, with a staff-like spirit artifact in his hand. The old man stared at Long Fei, his entire body releasing an extremely powerful chi, and said coldly, "First level puppet country. Kid, this test will be a competition of puppet technique." As expected, Long Fei was secretly shocked. "My guess is correct. It's all a competition of supporting skills, because no one in this world can achieve the 10th perfection. There is no such person." He had alchemy, smithing, and he could even make formations. He also knew puppet technique. It did not exist. No one would be able to cultivate so many support skills, and it would be impossible for them all to reach an extremely high realm. This was also the reason no one could pass the 10-story Devil Towers test. However, Long Fei was excited. Long Fei said, "All right, Senior, please." Puppet Demon Captain said, "This is the puppet country. Everything here is in my hands. Don't blame me for not reminding you that various situations might occur during your puppet refining process. Are you ready?" He was the Tower Lord. He was the ruler of this secret world. Long Fei extended out a gesture of invitation and said, "I'm ready." Puppet Demon Captain slightly said, "It's starting." With that, the Puppet Demon Captain's eyes suddenly became sharp, and at that moment, the staff in his hand quickly moved. Within a second, even shorter, a golem appeared in front of him, a golem that looked like an evil spirit. The staff moved. The evil ghost puppet pounced towards Long Fei, its speed extremely fast, like lightning. This kind of puppet technique was too fast. A cold smile appeared on the Puppet Demon Captain's face as he said, "Not many humans understand puppet technique yet, and only a brat like you dares to challenge the 10-story Devil Tower. You overestimate yourself. Kill." The evil ghost puppet turned into a blade and slashed at Long Fei. However, at this moment, boom, a silhouette descended, instantly blocking that evil ghost puppet. Puppet Demon Captain's gaze tightened as he said in astonishment, "Puppet, you can refine a puppet in such a short period of time? Impossible. Kid, cheating in front of me will result in very serious consequences." Long Fei grinned. "You can refine a puppet in a second. Why can't I? Without a few, how would they dare to climb Mount Liang? Today, this 10-story devil tower of yours, I'm definitely going to challenge it." Long Fei's gaze tensed up, power surging from his body as he channeled it into the puppet. Boom! A strong collision occurred. In an instant, the two puppets fell to the ground. The clash this time was considered a draw. However, in that split second, Puppet Demon Captain's technique was like a god's axe. He created another puppet in an instant, and during this time, he kept his gaze on Long Fei. He wanted to know whether Long Fei had cheated or not, because no one had been able to create a puppet in such a short period of time. When he saw Long Fei's hand speed, he was extremely shocked in his heart and could not help but praise. "Good kid, as expected, you're extraordinary." However, "Kid, it's useless to rely on just your technique. More importantly, the battle power of these golems. Bring it on." With an angry shout, the puppet in his hand burst out. This time, the grade of the puppet was even higher, from the grade of the grade 8 puppet just now to the grade of an Earth rank puppet. It was like a demon beast rushing forward crazily. Long Fei frowned. The idea moved. Charge! Rumble! He also charged forward. Walala! The two puppets collided once more, and the parts on their bodies fell to the ground. Again. Rumble! Rumble! Again and again they collided. Again and again they tied. Continuously, the Puppet Demon Captain became more and more shocked. At the same time, he lost his patience and said, "Kid, this time, a divine-level puppet." Long Fei slowly walked forward and said, "The true controlling ability of the puppet technique is not puppet, but human heart. No matter how strong your puppet technique is, once your heart is controlled, then you will become someone else's puppet. It's so godless." Hee. Of course, even divine level puppet technique could not do this. Long Fei used ancient puppet technique. The ancient power was injected. Puppet Demon Captain simply could not understand. His heart was completely under control, and he completely obeyed Long Fei's orders. Clang! Opening his fingers, the spirit staff dropped to the ground. Long Fei also walked to Puppet Demon Captain's side. Seeing his pained look, he picked up the spirit staff on the ground and smiled. Puppet Demon Captain kept shaking his head, saying, "No, no, 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 no." Long Fei grabbed the spirit staff with one hand and smashed it onto the ground. Crack! Crash! The spirit staff shattered and disappeared without a trace. At this moment, Long Fei's back was drenched in cold sweat. His mind had also disappeared. The release of the ancient power used up too much of his mental energy. He felt very uncomfortable. Puppet Demon Captain's heart sank. His eyes stared straight at the broken pieces on the ground, his eyeballs unmoving. This was the precious puppet wand of his puppet clan. Now, it shattered. It was smashed to pieces by a human. Moreover, at the same time, he had destroyed his shadowless golem. Long Fei said indifferently, "The creation of a puppet does not require any external force. His power originates from your heart. Senior, you lost." At this time, the system sounded out, causing Long Fei's heart to tighten. Damn, could it be that each level will give you a reward? Ding! When you find their gravitational force, as long as you can control it, then everything will be under your control. Long Face said indifferently, "This is the ancient puppet technique's secret technique. In all of Jinwu continent, there was not a single person who could cultivate the puppet technique to the divine level, whereas Long Fei could. Divine level. An extraordinary and unparalleled existence. Of course, just the divine level wasn't enough. There was still the powerful ancient puppet technique. The combination of the two could only cause Long Fei to be able to use his strong ancient power to directly control the heart of the puppet demon captain and control everything from there. This was the divine level. The puppet demon captain muttered to himself, repeating what Long Fei had said. Everything has a guide. Everything was controllable. Everything has a guide. Everything. Slowly, puppet demon captain's eyes flashed with a bright light. For Powerhouse at his level, as long as he moved even the slightest bit, it was possible that he would be thousands of miles away. It was like piercing through a piece of paper and seeing a completely new mysterious world. Suddenly, puppet demon captain laughed excitedly. I understand, ha 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 ha. Immediately, the power of the puppet demon captain was released one after another. A fiendish look appeared on his forehead. With a flick of his fingers, a strong power burst forth from his fingers. At this moment, Shadowless, who had been silent all this while, suddenly started to revolve his power again. The killing intent attacked once again. The entire secret world was filled with the powerful aura of formless body. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. Boom. Boom. Rumble. The air rumbled. Puppet demon captain was exceptionally excited. I did it. Ha ha ha. I did it. He was as happy as a 10-year-old child. However, Long Fei remained on guard. At the same time, he was secretly shocked in his heart. His astonishing comprehension ability can be seen through with just 1 point, and now his puppet technique has probably stepped into the divine level. If it's another round, if it was just a battle of skills, Long Fei was not a match for the puppet demon captain. Because of experience, Long Fei had only cultivated puppet technique for a few days, but puppet demon captain had cultivated for an entire lifetime. At this moment, puppet demon captain retracted his aura, and the puppet, Shadowless, also disappeared. He stood up and walked to Long Fei's side step by step. His eyes were extremely serious when he suddenly bowed and said with a heavy voice, "Thank you." This thank you was extremely heavy. It came from the heart. Long Fei was surprised for a moment and said, "I didn't do anything. How could I thank you?" The puppet demon captain said, "No, if not for your advice, I would not have been able to step into the divine level realm. You allowed me to see the entirely new world of the puppet technique. Thank you." It was a very sincere sentence. Long Fei laughed and said, "This is all because of your good perception." Although Long Fei said that the gratitude in the puppet demon captain's heart did not decrease by 1 bit, it seemed like a sentence. If he comprehended it himself, it was probably he would never be able to comprehend it in his life. It was just like stepping on a gate. No matter how hard you tried, you couldn't step over it. However, when someone reminded you, you were suddenly enlightened and instantly stepped over it. The puppet demon captain straightened his body and looked at Long Fei, saying, "No wonder that brat, the demon emperor, had set his eyes on you. You are truly not simple. Only amongst the 10-story Devil Tower, my cultivation is the weakest, so it would be best for me to pass this level." Puppet demon captain's eyebrows tightened and said, "Brat, how about—" Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Long Fei immediately said, "There's no need. I will destroy all the 10-story Devil Tower." How could he let go of every level. Right now, even if there were 10 cows, they wouldn't be able to pull Long Fei's determination back. Upgrade? It was too difficult, with more than 1 billion experience. Unless a special secret world was found, Long Fei would never be able to level up. This place, it could be called heaven. As long as he cleared the level, he would rise 1 level. Let him leave. Impossible. Puppet Demon Captain nodded and said, "Okay, I have never seen a human like you. Brat, if you can pass the 10-story Devil Towers test, my puppet clan will fully support you in anything." Long Fei said, "Thank you." And then Puppet Demon Captain laughed out loud. Ha ha ha. His figure moved. At the same time, the secret world at the first level disappeared and was replaced with a blinding light. He had passed the first trial. The puppet clan chief replied, "Master, this disciple doesn't understand. You've lost. Why are you still so happy? Could it really be?" Puppet Demon Captain's eyes darkened. The puppet clan leader immediately lowered his body, not daring to say another word. Puppet Demon Captain turned around and looked at the demon tower and said lightly, "He is stronger than you think. Just wait and see. He will definitely create history." He did not mention that he had stepped into a divine level domain because he believed that Long Fei could create history. Then, Puppet Demon Captain retracted his gaze and looked towards a direction, the Demon Emperor's position. There was approval in his eyes. The Demon Emperor saw through it with a glance and was secretly shocked in his heart to be able to make these unruly master admire you, kid. You are truly not simple. Ha ha ha. I really want to know what happened just now. The Demon Emperor's heart was like a flame that lit ablaze. Boom. Beneath the Magic Mountain's feet, Kai Lina landed on the ground and said excitedly, "I've passed the first floor." Transformers' eyes flashed, and he said, "Ha ha ha. I knew that no one would be able to stop my boss advance. My boss is mighty, and my boss is domineering. My boss is going to wipe them all out. Ha ha ha." Just like how Long Fei had already passed the 10-story Devil Tower S, Princess San Moon also revealed a smile and said, "So powerful." However, the test of the first floor is the easiest. The Tower Lord overseeing it also has the lowest level of cultivation. The higher you go, the harder it is. Princess San Moon was worried again. 10-story Devil Tower. The higher he went, the harder it became. The cultivation level of the Puppet Demon Captain was only Mahayana realm, and the divine marionette Shadowless that he summoned was actually inherited from the master, relying on the puppet spirit staff. No matter how one looked at it, he was the weakest out of all the 10-story Devil Tower. Long Fei walked towards the stairs. He entered the second floor of the secret world. The instant he stepped into secret world, the entire place became dark again. Fortunately, his arrogant form state did not affect his vision. Boom. I never thought that Puppet Demon Captain would actually lose. A deep voice resounded. Buzz. Not far away, an old man was seated cross-legged. He stared at Long Fei and said, "Kid, looks like you really have some skills. To be able to defeat clan of suppress devil's demon suppressing boundary, and also be able to defeat Puppet Demon Captain, that's not a simple answer. However, if you don't answer soon, you'll have to stop here." Long Fei walked forward and extended an inviting gesture, saying, "Senior, let's begin." He couldn't wait any longer. Thinking that he could level up after clearing the test, Long Fei couldn't wait anymore. The elder's forehead tightened. "It seems like you can't wait to go to hell." "All right." The old man's voice shook violently. Boom, boom, boom. The entire secret world suddenly combusted, and the flames that appeared out of nowhere surrounded Long Fei and the old man. The flames were oppressive and incomparably hot. The elder moved slightly and said, "The second level, the artifact forging world. As long as you can forge a spirit treasure that surpasses me, you win. However, kid, you have to be careful of the surrounding flames." The old man's mouth curled into a cold smile, and his eyes emitted a trace of cold light. Then, a huge refining platform appeared in front of him. At this moment, the surrounding flames instantly surged towards the refining platform. The old man moved the hammer in his hand. Boom! Flames scattered in all directions, and streams of flames burst out from the refining platform, pouncing towards Long Fei like fire dragons. Refining competition? Besides comparing weapon crafting, what he competed in was even more power of weapon crafting. Also, a life and death battle. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. Facing the incoming flames, his heart sank, and he used his left hand to block the incoming flames. Boom! Sky fire burst out from the Ming clan's mark. He blocked the incoming fire dragon directly. The elder's face grew cold as he asked, "Sky fire? I didn't think that you would be able to subdue the heavenly fire of the ancient refining clan. However, do you know why the Sand Moon tribe is unable to become the strongest refiner clan in the magic tribe? That was because we are stronger than them." Boom! Boom! Flames burst out like crazy. Table of contents. Table of contents. How was this a refining competition? This was simply comparing whose skin was thicker, who could endure a fever. The second floor of the pagoda was like a pill furnace with life on all four sides. Furthermore, this was not just ordinary flames. This was the refining fire of the Horcrux's demons. Red hair, old man glared at him furiously. Every time he swung the hammer, it was like Zhong Kuei did. Vicious. He looked as if someone owed him money. Boom! Boom! Rumble! With each strike of the hammer, immense flames burst forth, charging straight at Long Fei. Long Fei could only use his left arm to block. If this artifact forging flame was touched even a little bit, it would probably set his entire body ablaze. Looking at the flames within Long Fei, the red-haired old man sneered and said, "Brat, it will be useless just to block my refining fire. If you do not finish after I finish refining, you will also lose. Do you know the consequences of losing? The flames here will all pounce on you, and you won't be able to withstand them at all. They'll be instantly engulfed by the fire demon." Amidst his maniacal laughter, a few more hammers struck down. More dozens of fire dragons pounced towards Long Fei. Long Fei looked at the refining platform in front of him. The spirit artifact had already been formed, and it wouldn't be long before this spirit artifact was completed. The fact that 10-story Devil Tower and the rest were Tower Masters was not wrong. However, they couldn't control the power in the Demon Pagoda. From the moment the Demon Pagoda appeared, Long Fei knew that this tower was not simple. The power within the super artifact was extremely strong, and if he failed, it wouldn't be the Tower Masters who released their power to kill him, but the power of this tower itself. Who? Long Fei took a deep breath. His gaze darkened as the idea moved. Next, a thick piece of black iron steel appeared in front of him. Red hair, old man laughed. "You are using this kind of thing? It's just a piece of trash. Moreover, brat, I'm afraid you aren't even prepared for refining platform, right? Ha ha. If even the refining platform does not have it, how are you going to refine? If no one from the 10-story Devil Tower can pass, then it's even more impossible for a human kid like you." The red-haired old man laughed out loud. Refining equipment required hammers, and even more so, refining platform. If you don't have these two things, how are you going to forge anything? This was also why no one was able to pass the 10-story Devil Tower test. This place was almost abnormal. As long as you don't think twice enough, you'll be waiting for death inside. Hammer, refining platform. Ha ha. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up as he gently grinned and said, "It doesn't exist." While they were talking, Long Fei moved. Big fire ring. Red hair old man became excited. You don't even have a refining platform. How are you going to forge weapons? Even if you are capable of artifact forging, your time, there's nothing left. Regardless if it was capable of refining, Long Fei was going to lose. Because even if he managed to concoct it, it would be slower than the red hair old man. The Demon Pagoda would also be certain of Long Fei's failure. The 10-story Devil Tower's trial was a crazy mission. Boom, boom. Red hair old man increased his speed once again. With the fall of the last few hammers, the refining of the magic weapon was completed. But at this moment, Long Fei's mind was shaken, and he released the powerful ancient alchemy. Done. Rumble. The flames suddenly pressed down crazily, producing a series of explosive sounds. All of the flame was completely absorbed by the piece of fine steel within the flame. It was incomparably powerful. The scene was incomparably shocking. At the same time, Long Fei used his idea as a hammer and fiercely rapped it down. At the same time, he outlined its model, channeling the fire and releasing the ancient alchemy. In that instant, the entire secret world was flipped upside down. Red hair old man shouted loudly. Without waiting for him to say it, Long Fei instead shouted out loud and said, "All right." Red hair old man was stunned as he watched the huge flame disappear. A thin, small thing that looked like a willow leaf fell into Long Fei's hands. Red hair old man couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Kid, you've lost. Chapter 2489, Holy Artifact. Chapter 2489, Holy Artifact. Pointing at the tiny leaf in Long Fei's hand, red hair old man couldn't help but laugh. Ha 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 ha. You call this a spirit artifact? I lost. Kid, you've lost. How could a single leaf become a spirit artifact? Even if it was a spirit treasure, what use would it have? He didn't even have a level. What he was competing in was forging, speed, and the level of refinement. The red hair old man was the most important powerhouse of the weapon refining tribe, a master-level monster. Not only that, he could even kill people in the process of refining, and the refining fire was his weapon. The reason why he did not kill Long Fei just now was because of the heaven flame that Long Fei controlled. However, even so, he still won, because the raging blade of crimson fire he refined was a 9th-level heaven stage, almost a spirit treasure that was close to a holy artifact, and was enough to crush that small leaf of Long Fei's. Indeed, the object in Long Fei's hands was a willow tree leaf model. Originally, he had wanted to refine a flying knife like Li Xuanhuan's flying knife. However, in the end, it was too late. In addition, the flame that was injected into the steel ball made him unable to endure it, causing Long Fei to change into the current Lu Yi. Long Fei took a look at its attribute and faintly smiled, saying, "Lost? Why did I lose?" Red hair old man asked, "You don't accept this?" Long Fei said straightforwardly, "I can't accept it." Red hair old man picked up the scarlet fire berserker blade. He refined himself and said, "Did you see that? This is a spirit treasure. What's your name?" "Boys' Toys?" "Ha ha." Long Fei asked, "What is a spirit treasure? What is a spirit treasure used for?" Red-Hair Old Man said, "When spirit energy is poured into it, power will burst out. 4 spirit artifacts that can release powerful energy. All spirit treasures are used to assist in cultivation and for killing." While they were talking, the red-haired old man moved his true essence. Boom! The crimson fire berserker blade suddenly burned with a blazing flame that carried with it a powerful devouring force. The fire dragon roared within the flames. 9th level of the heaven stage. Just a tiny bit more to the divine level. Kid, are you still not going to admit defeat? Red-Hair Old Man was very pleased with himself, as he was very satisfied with this piece of work. It could be a little beyond his usual level. The 9th level of the heaven stage was not an ordinary grade. There might not be a single one in the entire sect. Longfei said, "So, I lost just like that." Red-Hair Old Man said, "You still won't lose?" Longfei said, "If it's like you said, then this leaf of mine is a holy artifact." Poochie, ha ha ha. Red-Hair Old Man immediately laughed out loud and said, "Holy artifact? Don't you humans have a divine level refiner refining a divine level spiritual treasure? Even you, true martial emperor Zhao Chongshan, would not be able to refine it." Longfei did not mind. The idea moved. Suddenly, that leaf floated in the air and also let out a rumbling sound. In the blink of an eye, rumble, rumble. The sky was filled with the unceasing sound of violent thunder. It was as if the world had exploded. At the same time, the Flame Emperor's flames just now exploded out like a sun hanging in the sky. Longfei took a step forward and said, "The name of my spirit treasure is Kill the Sun, Kill the Sun." Killing day after day. A single leaf could cause heaven and earth to be devoid of light. The entire secret world was engulfed by the blazing flames, and his eyes suddenly narrowed. He stared at the Flame Emperor's flames and kept on shaking his head as he said, "Impossible, absolutely impossible. It's impossible for that strong flame to be injected into a small piece of fine steel. Moreover, this level surpasses the divine level and is impossible to achieve. Even gods would not be able to do it." Red-Hair Old Man was shocked. He stared intently at the chi on Longfei's body. There were no changes. It wasn't the power of the heaven flame that he injected into. In other words, the immense flame power came from that leaf. The Red-Hair Old Man was unwilling to give up. With a wave of his scarlet fire berserk blade, true essence was poured into it, and the powerful energy of the Mahayana realm burst forth. He slashed at the leaf heavily. "Break for me!" Rumble! The berserker blade slashed out. The scarlet fire berserker blade instantly melted the moment it came into contact with the Flame Emperor's flames, turning into molten metal. Moreover, it also evaporated within a few seconds. This, just like that, a 9th level heaven stage godly weapon was inst-killed. The temperature of this flame, this level, it was hard to imagine. Red-Hair Old Man retreated a few steps, shook his head, and said, No, it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. You don't even have the hammer or refining platform. It's impossible for you to refine such a powerful magic weapon. You're cheating. He had already lost some of his composure because of the fear in his heart. To him, Longfei's spirit artifact was something he could not accept. Longfei laughed faintly. "If I were to cheat, this pagoda would definitely swallow me at the first moment. You should know this better than me, right? Your refining idea is too traditional. Without the refining platform, can't I forge a weapon without a hammer? A true refining powerhouse can use the lowest grade of materials to refine the highest grade of divine weapons. This is the refining techniques. The idea is the hammer. Strength is fire. Refine everything." Long Fei told them about the ancient martial arts' refining essence. He did not make any moves to refine it. He refined everything using the idea S. This was the powerful ancient alchemy. Long Fei looked at the red-haired old man who had lost his composure and said, "You've lost." Thump! Red-haired old man fell to the ground. His red face was also pale, and his eyes flickered. Although he was unwilling, he had to accept it. He had lost. It stopped for a moment. Red-haired old man stood up, let out a deep breath, and said, "I lost." He was completely convinced. He knew he would never be able to reach Long Fei's level in his entire life. His eyes burned with passion as he looked at Long Fei. Long Fei said, "Remember what I said just now. Idea is the hammer. Strength is the fire to refine everything. The strongest flames used to refine are not external force, but your heart's fire." And then, Long Fei did not know why, but the idea moved and handed the Kill the Sun over to Red-haired old man and said, "I'll give this Kill the Sun to you." Red-haired old man's eyes darkened. His hands took it, and his body started trembling. This, that. For me, this. He was incoherent, so excited that he couldn't speak. To him, Kill the Sun was not only a holy artifact, but a mental warning. Plop! Red-haired old man immediately knelt on the ground and said with a heavy tone, "Thank you." At the same time, the moment red-haired old man received the Kill the Sun, he had an understanding in his heart. This feeling, red-haired old man's heart started to boil. I understand. He once again looked at Long Fei seriously and said, "Thank you." It was also at this time red-haired old man flew out of the demon tower, laughing maniacally. The system beep rang. Ding! Make him an enemy. It's probably the scariest thing in the world. The demon emperor was secretly shocked. Such a high evaluation was so terrifying that even back then, he didn't use such an evaluation on him. It was just that. Not long later, the space between red-haired magic's brows tightened as he lowered his voice and said, "But, after all, he is an arrogant form state. The last few levels of 10-story Devil Tower S are really old monsters, and they would do whatever it takes to destroy him. If you want to protect him, you better think of a way to make the pagoda stop functioning." The demon emperor's heart sank. The 10-story Devil Tower itself was a gigantic holy artifact. This was something the demon emperor himself knew. It contained tremendous power. Each level's tower master was only a protector and was unable to release the power of the magic tower. Once, if there was someone who was willing to do whatever it takes, the rules of the pagoda would probably be broken. At that time, if the operation of the pagoda became chaotic, Long Fei would definitely die. Red-haired magic said, slightly, "I also don't want to see such a genius ruined here." He was still holding the Lu Ye's Kill the Sun that Long Fei had given him, and he was extremely grateful in his heart. This was the only thing he could do. The demon emperor thought to himself, "Brat, there's actually a master on your side wanting to save you. You're truly extraordinary. From the looks of it, no matter what, I have to save your life." In that instant, the demon emperor's figure flashed, and he disappeared from where he stood. It was also at this time Long Fei had stepped onto the 3rd floor's God's Tower. The 5th chapter. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2491, Putting on an Act. Chapter 2491, Putting on an Act. 1 level 1, 1 level 1, and there were even special rewards. Long Fei could not wait any longer. He couldn't wait to fly over there. However, when he entered the 3rd floor, he immediately felt that something was amiss. That was because this place was filled with the aura of death, and it was very strong. It was as if this was hell. Buzz. As Long Fei stepped into the third floor, a loud buzzing sound came from the secret world, and then an old man dressed in purple robes suddenly opened his eyes and stared straight at Long Fei. A sharp light flashed through his eyes, as if it was going to pierce through Long Fei, and he said coldly, "Two useless things actually couldn't even defend against a single human. What a disgrace to our magic tribe." Humph! He harumphed coldly. In an instant, the aura of the purple-clothed old man suddenly exploded as his body also abruptly moved. It landed in front of Long Fei. Fast. It was extremely fast. Impossible to imagine. Long Fei shuddered inwardly. What a fast speed! The old man stopped 3 meters away from Long Fei and said coldly, "You being able to pass through the first 2 floors does not mean that you were lucky. It only means that the 2 of them are trash. This stage, you are dead for sure." Very arrogant. It was extremely savage. The look of contempt in his eyes made anyone unhappy. Long Fei was also very unhappy, but he still made a gesture of invitation and asked, "Senior, what is going on this floor?" The purple-clothed old man raised his eyes slightly. "Magic pill." "Huh." Long Fei was startled. "Alchemy?" Looking at Long Fei's dazed expression, the purple-clothed elderly man immediately mocked. "You're afraid? Ha ha ha." Back then, the 2 great devils of Magic Tribe lost in this trial, and you will fall in this trial as well. No one, because I am a tower master. Arrogant beyond belief. Long Fei did not reveal an expression and said, "Why would it be a competition?" The purple-robed old man said, "Whoever refines the highest quality pills will win as soon as they refine one. But there is one thing, this is the territory of the Magic Tribe, so they must refine Magic Pill. If it's a medicinal pill from your human world, then it's a loss. Kid, prepare to tremble for me." Ha ha ha. After saying that, he laughed out wildly. The purple-clothed old man was abnormally proud of himself. Then, with a flick of his robes, a pill furnace and spirit grass appeared in front of him. Seeing Long Fei did not move at all, he couldn't help but mock him. No spirit grass were prepared, right? Ha ha ha. Brat, then just wait for your death. And then, the purple-clothed elder's eyes turned savage. He excitedly sneered. "Let the competition begin." Competing in alchemy, Long Fei only wanted to say one word. Hee hee. The alchemy technique was the first support skill he had after breaking through the divine level. Moreover, compared to the other supporting skills, alchemy technique was even more skillful, and also the alchemy technique was a skill he used to awaken the ancient power, so he had a much higher understanding of it. Alchemy competition? Long Fei really did not put it in his eyes, as this stage of the competition was equivalent to giving out sub-questions. The only troublesome thing was the magic pill. He had never refined a magic pill before. What kind of pill could be called a magic pill? Long Fei pondered for a moment. At this moment, the purple-clothed clan elder was already refining the pill, and the spirit grass had already turned into spirit liquid. Looking at how Long Fei was still standing there in a daze, not moving an inch, he laughed complacently. "Ha ha ha. Kid, are you stupid? No one in the 10-story Devil Tower has managed to step onto the 4th floor yet. You will also end up here." Ha ha ha. He laughed complacently. How unpleasant. Long Fei was not in a hurry. He just kept looking at him like that. "I don't speak. I just look at you." Because Long Fei wanted to know the standard of Magic Pill S. Spirit grass does not have a demonic nature. Normal. refining method, penetrating alchemy technique. Normal. The level of your alchemy, heaven stage. In Long Fei's eyes, every single movement of the purple-robed elder was instantly analyzed. In Long Fei's eyes, the purple-robed elder was just like a naked person. Everything was being watched, from his refining methods to his control of the fire to his control of the spirit liquid. Long Fei looked at all of them. And lastly, when Long Fei saw the purple-clothed clan elder absorb the demonic qi from the secret world into the pill, his mouth formed a smile, and he muttered, "So that's how it is." The purple-clothed elderly man looked at Long Fei and said, "What do you mean by so? It's like this. You understand alchemy? Even if you knew just a little bit, what kind of pills can you concoct?" It was extremely disdainful. At this time, Long Fei faintly smiled and said, "I just wanted to say, you are just a pile of dog shit." As soon as he finished, boom, Long Fei's sea of consciousness fiercely shook. The sky and the earth are fire, so naturally it's a furnace. The power of the ancient martial arts suddenly exploded in his consciousness. In an instant, the spirit grass floated in the air and continuously rotated in midair. Following that, its true essence surged, and the flames instantly ignited, causing the spirit liquid to spill out. Another few spirit grass were thrown in. All of this happened in a flash. The purple-clothed elder mocked, "How can you have alchemy without a pill furnace? How can you condense a pill?" However, when he saw that the spirit liquid was gathering and solidifying, he was completely stupefied. At this moment, Long Fei's alchemy technique had exceeded his imagination. What he needed to do now was to compete for time. As long as he won in time, he would still be the winner. However, just as he was thinking that, the true essence on Long Fei's body suddenly exploded, directly fusing with the demonic qi in the pagoda, and also fusing with the deathly qi in this level of secret world. However, at this moment, Long Fei's heart trembled, because this ball of demon energy suddenly released a loud resonance, and a power that slightly shook Long Fei surged into his primeval essence. At this moment, Long Fei did not dare to be careless. Time was all that mattered. Moreover, the holy source had already gathered and could not stay for even half a second. Rumble! The true essence that Long Fei released to absorb the devil aura suddenly contracted and instantly merged into the spirit liquid, solidifying immediately. The aura on Long Fei's body also fiercely exploded. Done! Boom! A loud explosion resounded. A pill was floating in front of Long Fei. It was a fiery red pill. This was Long Fei's first time refining a pill of this color. Then, thinking back to when he felt that there was something strange with the aura of the true qi, he couldn't help but feel suspicious in his heart. What is going on? This pill is a little abnormal. Not only that, Long Fei could also sense that the deathly aura on the secret world of the third floor had weakened. It was not as thick as before. Very strange. It was as if some sort of force had absorbed it. Then, Long Fei looked at the fiery red pellet and thought to himself, could it be that it absorbed it? Following Long Fei's angry shout, the purple-clothed old man was slightly shocked as he became flustered. His mind also instantly became chaotic as his brows tightened. He wanted to forcefully control it. However, rumble! The furnace exploded. Long Fei said, "Take some pills." The purple-robed old man laughed. "I didn't say that you can't eat medicine. Ha ha. Brat, this time, I will let you experience my power. This time, I will definitely trample you to death." It was the same complacent and mocking expression again. It was as if the furnace hadn't exploded just now. after devouring the magic pill. He had improved in every aspect, even raising his alchemy technique of the heaven stage to the divine level. If he were to step past this threshold, his alchemy level would be completely different. The violet-clothed old man was completely confident. When he finished his preparations, the purple-clothed old man suddenly shouted, "Begin!" They simply did not give Long Fei time to prepare. But, following the start of his sentence, the corner of Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. "You're still trying to act cocky with your father? Then I'll let you know what is alchemy technique." Suddenly, a huge power was instantly released. Long Fei's clothes made explosive noises as power burst out from his body, and the last bit of the spirit grass's impurities were quickly removed. The released true essence was instantly absorbed back. Within the spirit liquid, during this time, it was another strange buzzing sound, like the trembling of a person's soul, or like the kind of comfortable moaning of someone releasing or unlocking a seal. Long Fei was also unable to say it out. He didn't have time to think about this right now, because he wanted to make the violet-clothed old man tremble. This time, the ancient martial arts he used was even more powerful, and could be said to already be in existence that had surpassed the divine level. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. 1 second. Boom. Refining is done. Long Fei immediately shouted out, staring at the purple-robed elder who was still instigating the flames. He bellowed out, "Fuck, you're still King arrogant." 1 second of alchemy. Its speed was so fast that it left people dumbstruck and tongue-tied. He couldn't react at all. However, this purple pellet floated in front of Long Fei. The entire body of the pill was wrapped in a layer of purple fluorescent light. Obviously, from a single glance, it was obvious that this pill was no ordinary item. The purple-robed elder looked at himself in a daze. He continuously shook his head and said, "Impossible, it can't be this fast. I didn't even heat the pill furnace, so how could I be this fast?" He was in a trance. It was as if his body had instantly collapsed. In the moment of his panic, rumble, unable to control his true essence, the pill furnace exploded once again. It exploded again. This time, the purple-clothed old man directly fell to the ground as he stared at Long Fei in a daze and said, You cheated. No one can do it this quickly. Even the strongest alchemy master of your human race cannot do it this quickly. Cheating?" Long Fei gave a bland smile as he kept the red and purple pellets. He did not have the time to see the attributes of the two pellets, but now was not the time to look at the pill's properties. The instant he received the pellet, Long Fei flipped his right hand. Boom! The spirit grass moved. In a second, a pill appeared. Cheating? In an instant, he flipped his left hand. 1 second later, pill refining. Long Fei asked again, "Cheating?" And then a few more sounds, and then a second of alchemy. Face smacking? Then give it a good thrashing. To a person like the purple-clothed old man, this kind of alchemy technique's pressure was like slapping his face. And furthermore, it wasn't just a slap, it was a kick to his face. Just like that. Just like that. This time, the purple-clothed old man's face looked as if he was struck by a whip. He watched as Long Fei concocted a pill with a flip of his hand, and then a pill with a flip of his hand. It was as if he had fallen into a bottomless abyss. He was stupefied, too stupid. His face was pale. He couldn't say a word. Cheating? This was an insult to him. Long Fei looked at his pale face and stopped his alchemy. "Still trying to act cool with this, Daddy? Are you still saying that I'm cheating?" The purple-clothed elderly man slumped to the ground with a miserable expression, as if he had aged several tens of years in an instant. He was forced by Long Fei to the point where he couldn't say a single word. Moreover, He no longer dared to act arrogantly. However, at this moment, the purple-clothed old man suddenly rushed forward like a wild beast. Long Fei's eyes darkened. When he reacted and wanted to lift her up with a kick, he noticed that his thigh was fiercely embraced by the purple-clothed old man. "My lord, take me as your disciple." Woo, woo, woo. He burst into tears, and it was the crying of a child. At this moment, Long Fei was dumbfounded. Chapter 2493, The Great Devil's Death. Chapter 2493, The Great Devil's Death. Since he couldn't refine the alchemy, he decided to shamelessly refine it again. Now, he lost again. The purple-clothed old man had originally thought that no matter how powerful a person was, they wouldn't be able to become proficient in puppets, weapons crafting, and even alchemy. He thought this was his posturing time. Unexpectedly, he had been instantly slapped in the face. Acting cool, they were completely no match for Long Fei. Moreover, Long Fei's method was not to act cool at all, but extremely awesome. At this time, the purple-clothed old man didn't care too much. As he thought of his ultimate move, he held onto his thigh. He directly hugged Long Fei's thigh and started to wail loudly. With his snot and tears, he wiped them all over Long Fei's pants. Long Fei was completely stunned. "Get up! Get up! How old are you? Did you hear that? I told you to get up." The purple-clothed elder hugged him tighter and said, I don't care. If you don't accept me as your disciple, then I won't get up. Woo-woo. If it was a girl, should be very happy if she was a loli or something like that. But it was a several hundred-year-old man. Can you imagine this? He even had the heart to die. Long Fei's right leg fiercely swung out, simply unable to break free. The purple-clothed old man's cultivation was also at the 8th level of the large scale, much higher than Long Fei's. If he were to grab onto Long Fei's thigh, it would be basically impossible for Long Fei to escape from his grasp. Can you not be so shameless? You are a master of the magic tribe after all. What is this supposed to count as? Long Fei pleaded. He couldn't even pretend to be good now. The purple-clothed old man said, I don't care. Who told you to be so awesome? Since you're not taking me in as your disciple, I won't let go of you, and if I don't leave, you won't be able to go to the 4th floor either. Long Fei. He was completely speechless. Moreover, it was just as he had said. He had already won the alchemy competition, but Long Fei did not hear anything about the system beep. Very strange. The purple-robed elder continued. Accepting me, you won't lose out. Imagine yourself having a master of the magic tribe as your disciple. Long Fei said, I like to keep a low profile. I don't like to put on airs. The purple-clothed elder said, I like to show off. Long Fei. The elder in purple said, hurry up and decide. He looked like a dead pig that wasn't afraid of boiling water. He had made up his mind. Long Fei was too shocked by the method he used to produce a pill in 1 second. The way he did it made him worship him from the bottom of his heart. He pursued the highest realm of alchemy. He thought that he would be standing on the highest realm of the Zhenwu continent's alchemy Dao, but Long Fei's alchemy technique instantly killed him, and in his heart, Long Fei had already become the highest realm in his heart. He definitely wouldn't let them off. In the end, Long Fei compromised. He had never met such a shameless person before, and he's even a master who's lived for a few hundred years. Sure, I'll take it, right? But one thing I want to say in advance. Long Fei said. The violet-robed elder immediately said, 10,000 points isn't a problem as long as you can accept me as your disciple. Long Fei said, Only you and I know that I have accepted you as my disciple, and you are not allowed to tell anyone else, including the Demon Emperor and your clansmen." The purple-clothed old man stared blankly for a moment as tears began to flow from his eyes. He directly said, "Master, you're too kind. Are you worried about my situation?" He thought that Long Fei was thinking for his sake, because if the relationship between master and disciple were to be announced, then he would be under all kinds of pressure, the pressure of the tribe and the pressure of the magic tribe. After all, taking a human brat as a master was something the entire magic tribe couldn't accept. However, Long Fei simply did not consider for him anything. He was entirely thinking about himself. Accepting an old man who was a few hundred years old as a disciple, no matter how he thought about it, Long Fei felt that it was weird. Furthermore, it would even raise his age. They absolutely could not be announced. Long Fei said, "Whatever you think, if you can do it, I will promise you." The purple-clothed old man was moved and said, "I agree." "Master." Finished. Then he took a step back and dropped to his knees. Long Fei waved his hand and said, "Hurry up and get up. Hurry up and leave. Don't waste my time." After his thigh loosened, Long Fei's heart secretly relaxed as well. He wanted to return to the human world. So this kind of disciple would probably never have any interactions with him in the future. Of course, this was his idea. The purple-robed elder immediately stood up and said, "As you command." After saying that, he turned around and was about to leave. At this moment, Long Fei suddenly thought of something and asked, "Why did the death aura on the third floor disappear?" That aura, was it something you wanted to use when you released it? The purple-robed elder immediately replied, "No, that death aura was left behind by the two great devils of Magic Tribe when they lost the competition. It should have been their souls." Finished. The purple-clothed elder could not help but ask, "Master, is there anything else? If there's none, I'll go out first." Long Fei waved his hand. "Let's go quickly." Long Fei thought, the evil demon's soul. Chapter 2494, 6th level. Chapter 2494, 6th level. The crowd went into an uproar. He couldn't accept it. The once almighty devil could only stop at the third floor. But now, a human had reached the 4th level. How could an incomparably arrogant magic tribe accept that? Many people began to curse him, ignoring everything else. Rice bucket? How could a human break through the 3rd level of the Demon Pagoda? What are the uses of these Master S? They're all trash. What the hell is going on? You can't possibly have all the Master S on the 3rd floor giving in, right? Many Magic Tribe S were crying. Even Magic Tribe S could not break it, but a human could. This was a huge blow to Magic Tribe. Demon Suppressing's face was abnormally ugly. The rage in his heart surged as he fiercely said, "Puppet Magic Tribe S, Refining Horcrux's Demons S, and Alchemy Magic Tribe S are all trash. Not a single one of them will be useful. They're all trash." Smoke rose from the top of his head in anger. The hatred in Demon Suppression's heart was exceptionally biting cold. Shwa! The purple-robed elder flew out of the tower. Those who didn't know what the 3rd level was earlier felt their hearts sink. The magic pill lost. Did you also lose the alchemy competition? Isn't magic pill something only us Magic Tribe can refine? How could that human kid know how to refine it? What exactly happened? Discussions broke out. However, the purple-clothed old man didn't explain in the slightest. When he saw red hair magic, he instantly flew over with great excitement and said in a low voice, "I'm taking him as my master." Ha ha! He had a smug expression on his face. The weapon demon slightly trembled. At this moment, the purple-robed elder then turned to Puppet Demon Captain and said, "I've taken him as my master, hee." He had a complacent look on his face. It was a very refreshing feeling. The promise he had just made was instantly forgotten. He was such a person. As for his excitement, he couldn't hide it any longer, as if he was afraid that others wouldn't know about it. "He also knows alchemy?" Red Hair Magic asked doubtfully. The purple-clothed old man said, "Of course, his alchemy level is the highest realm that I'm chasing after. My master is too amazing. Ha ha ha." Red Hair Magic thought in his heart, "If I had known this would happen, I should also take him as my master. Why didn't I think of that? I wonder if he'll be able to make it in time." The Puppet Demon Captain was the same. He looked at the purple-clothed elder with envy and thought to himself, "Damn, he got here first. Can it be that I want to call him senior brother when the time comes?" F***CK. The three of them seemed to have forgotten their identities. S of Magic Tribe level actually wanted to take Long Fei as their master. If the disciples and disciples around them knew about this, the Magic Tribe would probably be thrown into chaos. Red Hair Magic said, "He is very strong. His body has an irresistible force. It's just that. The further they go, the harder it will be for the 10-story Devil Tower. Those old monsters will definitely not let them go." The purple-clothed elder immediately shivered. "I forgot about this matter. I have to go find that brat, the Demon Emperor." Red Hair Magic said, "I've already told the Demon Emperor." The purple-clothed old man's eyes relaxed as he asked, "Where's that boy, the Demon Emperor?" Red Hair Magic looked at the pagoda in the plaza and did not say a word. The purple-clothed old man muttered, "I wanted to show off to him, but if that brat Demon Emperor is unable to protect my master, I will definitely not let him off." Red Hair Magic and Puppet Demon Captain looked at the purple-clothed old man at the same time. The purple-robed elder fiercely shouted, "What are you looking at? No matter how big the Demon Emperor is, he's still not as big as my master." Humph! He was confident and confident. He entered the 4th level. From the bottom of Magic Mountain, Kai Lina descended from the sky. Princess Sand Moon was ecstatic. "What's on the 3rd floor?" Kai Lina said, "It seems to be a competition of magic pills." The Princess Sand Moon said, "If the magic pill wins, then the only thing left is the talisman formation and beast taming. What's on the last 4 floors?" Transformers said with a relaxed expression, "Don't worry, the General Assembly is going wild all the way." "What 10-story Devil Tower?" "In front of Boss. None of them are an issue." Ha ha ha. To be able to break through 3 levels consecutively, Transformers was no longer nervous at all. Princess Sand Moon slightly said, "I hope we can safely pass." The 10-story Devil Tower is not only competing in support skills, but also in various mysterious things. You can't even imagine it. These mysterious things were the most deadly. More importantly, no one knew. Long Fei had almost completely trained in all of the supporting skills, but it was only in terms of alchemy, artifact forging, arrays, talismans, beast taming, and puppets. He himself did not know. No one knew. The 4 strongest tribes within the 4 great magic tribe were also the most primitive tribes of the Magic Tribe, the 4 strongest tribes. They were the most elite existences in the Magic Tribe. Moreover, they were the most primitive Magic Tribe. No one knew what their test was. This was also what the Red Hair Magic and the rest were worried about. Who? Long Fei took a deep breath and stepped onto the 4th floor. Immediately, an old man opened his eyes, stared at Long Fei, and said, "4th floor, brat, you have broken the history of the 10-story Devil Tower." However, You can only stop here. Long Fei extended his right hand and said, Senior, please. The old man said slightly, Level 4 Beastmaster World. Bring it on. Half an hour later, the fourth floor became brightly lit. Beastmaster Old Demon's expression sank as he sincerely said, I've lost. And then he flew out of the pagoda. The system sounded out again. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for passing the 10-story Devil Tower Level 4. Level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 6th stage of Arrogant Form. Another level up. One level increase. Half an hour. This meant that half an hour's worth of experience was simply too great. There are still 6 levels. No matter what the next 4 levels are, to be able to pass the 6th level and rise to the 6th level, this mission is definitely going to be a success. Long Fei himself clearly knew that it would be more difficult later on. If it wasn't for the support skill competition, he would have already lost. After all, his cultivation was only at the Arrogant Form state, but these people were all at the advanced level. The last few were Zhen Wu Realm-S. In terms of fighting strength, Long Fei might not be a match for him. No matter what, no matter how difficult it was, he wouldn't retreat, no matter how many layers he could break. Her gaze focused. Long Fei stepped onto the 5th floor's demon pagoda. It's passed again. I never saw how strong that kid was. How could he pass without stopping? An hour of waiting. Who? Long Fei held a card-like talisman in his hand, which was glowing with a purple light. The power on the talisman was incomparably vicious. He looked at the panting elderly man and said, You have lost. Kid, where did you learn your talisman technique? I admit defeat. Boom. The 5th floor's tower was also brightly lit, clearing the level again. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.